Hello, everybody, and welcome back. As fix this, and yeah, we are back. Some more WARNO League action for you, everybody. As we gonna go for the first time a bit outside of Division One, though we will return at the end of the stream with some Mix90 versus bottom feeder action there. But we're gonna start today in Division 3, and we're gonna start it on Omen, one of the newer maps in the pool, with one of the new divisions here on the right side that now can be purchased by everybody, with the Selfec, 19th Motorstalky, and on the left side, second UK here for FlynRyan and Ludie, two first-time league players, if I'm correct. And the pick and ban here, pretty classic. We got Omen by random, actually. Somebody did roll a dice there. Chandra gonna be map number 2, so this is going to be hot as well. The two mirrored maps here going to come out here. And second UK versus 19th Motostrelki. And then the Spanish versus 4th Division. Bands, classic ones, the all-time classics, 20th Panzerna, Div Mob, 8th US, 2nd Panzer Grenadier, 9th Panzer, 5th Divise. Pretty classic mech divisions there, band plus Div Mob. And yeah, you said it's alright that we have a bit of a familiar opener here on the left side, don't we?
Yeah, I was looking at the 1 Air Mobile Pioneer, 3 SAS, and Hellarm attack, and it kind of reminded me of what I believe Hippie did on the very same map in one of our earlier casts. In this case, there is one extra Hellarm here, and the Foxes, I believe, and the Terriers are kind of a so this is a unique opener. It is only inspired by what I believe is probably the most efficient opener that Hippie won that game with. The SAS here are exceptionally all deploying into middle, into Boris, and there is once again no interest in attacking Gregory, which is the southeast side, which you would kind of expect a forward deploying division to do. You want to contest not just one but two of the zones in case one of them is completely undefended. And meanwhile, we can see Ludie with the 90s Motostrelka. How do you say it? Motostrelecha. Streleka? I think Streleka is probably
Streleka, yeah.
Is right, yeah. And we're seeing a really kind of defensive opener with only some of the GSR special forces, the RT ships, going in and kind of hanging around outside of Boris. So unless FlynRyan wants to reposition this SAS early on in the game, might be that Ludie is kind of predicting this. You can even see how Ludie is deploying units so far in the back with the Visatkari. The Visatkari are deploying to the south part of the northern forest hill, and then they're going to try to walk in. So I'm wondering if this kind of second UK opener on this map going in the middle with the SAS is so prevalent that Ludie is already predicting it and kind of playing around it. But of course, there are some helicopters out here. Those are a huge risk when bringing out against the SAS, and it's gonna that's probably why they are getting deployed so far back.
Yeah, foxes coming around. The one special thing about the 19th is that the manpads can only come in the Me Too, so you can't deploy them in ground units, so your manpad deployment is a bit weird. And against SAS, you obviously don't want to fly too deep with your transport helicopters, because they have stingers, so they're just gonna shoot your Me-17 out of the sky and kill the special forces inside, and you want those special forces to be able to kill the SAS in long-range engagements. So coming around with them and deploying them a bit more defensively is fine here. You are the division with the longer breath. You have the strong Dana artillery. You have a good bit more tanks with good numbers of T-72s. So I think Ludie's approach here is pretty fine. But yeah, Ryan is taking the advantages that you want to take with the division. The Fox maybe could even go deeper around Gregory in the long term, but holding in the north at Dimitri and then capturing the middle is a solid standard approach for a division like 2nd UK here.
Yeah, buying so many of those Hell Arms with no air defense, now with the Phantom coming in, having bought up at the first minutes, and Phantom coming in after the MiG, and the SAS managed to route the Su-25, and that's very crucial. Oh, the Phantom comes in and does get the kill there, with a
Ooh,
coup
Coop.
already out Ludie.
The Igla firing there as well. Can it find a hit? Nope, the Coop can, but it doesn't get the kill because the Yesterka are not able to get 1 hit point of damage there on it. So Phantom will get out alive. Will take a while to repair, but it staying alive is pretty important.
Yeah, Saxons are engaging the AGS-17 grenade launcher, which is exactly what you're supposed to be doing here. The SAS are taking some unnecessary fire from it, but the Saxons get deprioritized, so they can just get a kill here. 2 SAS already pretty badly wounded, honestly, like 3-man and 4-man taken out of this. So, and considering that the Visatkari are, as you said, the long-range engagements above 500-meter range, Visatkari will eat the SAS for breakfast.
Yeah, RT here under fire. The HPZ have to fight fall back. Svatava under attack there as well. SAS under fire. And the push in this middle does continue here. The warrior with the autocannon. Can it get the hit? Yes, it can. Svatava goes down. Warrior stays alive. The SAS keep on pushing there. The Visatkari would need some reinforcements there in the middle. First T-72 and T-55 on the way. Dana on the way as well. So, yeah, Ludie just needs to hold out here without collapsing in the center, but the collapse might be imminent. It's down to only the AA units right now directly on the front line, and that's never a good sign.
Yeah, the Dana here, I understand wanting to have the Dana from as early as possible, but currently, right now, it is firing at infantry that are moving in cover. There is very little spotting left here, and the Dana is probably going to just hang around and sit back for most of the time here. Jesterka getting a really nice kill against the Lynx rocket, but the British scouts do have AT weapons, so they can engage the Jesterka. And Jesterka has 1 point of armor, which means that it is immune to actual rifle fire. Though the scout's actually not missing with the third shot.
Visatkari here getting the engagement, but not quite getting the kill. 72 in the middle. Moving forward. We'll see the warrior thanks to the Igla, so should be able to deal with that. Whilst the Saxon will run into the T-55, not going to be able to kill the coup there. So Saxon warrior being stopped. Ryan will hold the center, but seems like Ludie might just have enough here to hold out for now. And yeah, gets the Saxon. Maybe get the scout there as well. That would be helpful. Taking another 35-point unit off the board that will need replacement. Pushes pretty deep towards Dimitri with the recon, but Warrior Milan on the way. Ooh, the Warrior Milan might be too aggressive though. Getting some kills in transport, that would be a nice comeback here for Ludie. Stopping the snowball and getting more stuff like the Dana online long term to get the trades back into the favor of the Pact division here.
Yeah, FlynRyan seems to be doing pressure now on both the top and the bottom side, having kind of realized that the middle is going to be a slug match. There is currently a Rover Milan, but it is far away from position to actually engage the T-72. And with the Hell Arms getting shot down by the MiGs and the Iglas and Jesterkas, there are no ATGMs right now threatening the T-72 M1. There is a Challenger that's going to come out and a bunch of Warrior Milans, but those Milans are not enough to penetrate T-72s. So for now, I think FlynRyan's chance was right there. I think the chance was in reloading those infantry units and driving them with the Saxons into Shariton. But in the end, the T-72 arrived just in time, and the infantry was just slowed down and wounded enough that it is now staying inside Boris, where it's going to be, especially now that the Motor Stelci are going to move in with the BMP-1s and supported by the T-55 AM1. There is going to be Dana fire behind this, and the Dana single salvos probably most of this stuff on this range.
Yeah, Harrier coming in there to try to deal with the Mi-24 weak rocket, and this is the issue with second UK. If the game goes long, in the grind matches you will have trouble. You can't replace your SAS. and you will have issues with AA once they fall, because afterwards you only have tractor peers are okay mid-range AA, but not really good ones, and bad manpads with the javelins. But if you get the kills like the MI24s and the BMP1 in the north, and you can keep the momentum up, that is the way you can keep this up. But if the Danas, the T-72 ball, and the BMP2s and BMP1s on the other side can start to outnumber you, you might be in trouble here as FlynRyan.
Yeah, the VZ have been taking these one-on-one engagements, and as 10-man squads with 2 medium machine guns, they generally are completely superior to singular enemies. Now, even destroying the armored rifles, as the Warrior Milan doesn't want to get close enough to get hit. Me-17 missing the MI2 there with the Harrier critically getting hit here by the MiG-29, leaving, the MiG-29 doesn't realize that there are more targets. There's the Harrier HE as well as a Lynx rocket, and currently so little in terms of air defense from FlynRyan.
Yeah, only the SAS around. A tractor here is finally showing up. We have some Fox and some Terriers in the south holding up. We have a decent amount of ATGMs in the middle, but the Harrier fleet here is an interesting choice. Trying to deal with the helicopters there, but flying the Harrier over to Iglas is risky because they are only 8 hit point planes, so 2 Igla hits are a kill against you. Both Me-2s go down. Can the Iglas get revenge there? Yes, they can, and that is a good kill there. 2 Me-2 transports are worth less than a Harrier bomber. The Lynx rocket comes around, gets a kill, but Ludie gets the CV into the north. There is no CV directly there for Ryan, but he has a rover in the rear. So this stops the tick and will even get the tick in Ludie's favor here if it goes completely through with the capture. So Ryan only 200 points ahead. That is not a big lead, with only a +1 tick here for a while. The challengers and co in the middle will have to do some more damage to get this tick back. Otherwise, this might be a bit of a turning point here.
Yeah, the middle attack here, the counterattack happening from the Czechs is really quite nice. The Rover Milan on the southwest side still is not in position. The Challenger on the northwest side, but most of its sidelines are blocked by the buildings. T-72 M1 managing to smoke off after getting critically hit by Challenger. Motostelgi are still pushing in. The SAS have had to push further back, and the Milan 2s are very far away from actually great positions. For now, the tanks are going to have to repair themselves for the moment. Dana also is not firing or aiming at any point, which is a little bit of a waste considering there are targets out here. But there's going to be two more Iglas Conquerors missiles, T-72s. This is going to keep on happening as a mech attack. Ludie has gained so many good trades already by just investing into mech, knowing that the British can't out-mech them. They can bring out their 1.5 carts of Challengers, but after that it's going to be air mobiles and pioneers, and those things can be killed by tanks.
Yeah, as the second UK, you want to start killing off some T-72s here so that they don't just outswarm your challengers. With the Challenger being the somewhat superior tank, but it is relatively close. You have the same penetration basically if you take out the Rangers. You have the better accuracy gun with range scaling, but you have the same rate of fire, and you only have 1 extra frontal armor, which is the significant difference there, with speed being slightly in favor of the T-72, and obviously the firing range at which it can fire being a bit lower for the T-72 as well. But Challengers here not significantly ahead, and you have so much more of these T-72 M1s, which are the more modernized ones. That's why they have the 17 frontal armor instead of the 15, and that really makes 19th such a competitive division.
Yeah, and Ludie right now is hovering the Su-25, the AT plane, right behind the front line here. And considering how few tanks the second UK actually gets, risking the Su-25 even against the SAS AA rockets is worth it. You get 2 kills there, and that's something that necessarily second UK, that's a punch they can't necessarily take. Up north, we're seeing VZ engage air mobile pioneers on long range, smoking out the infantry leader and hiding it. so that the Warrior Milan can't move in and do anything. T-55AM moving in to eliminate the Warrior Milan, and a Challenger is coming in to reinforce this, but that Challenger is not going to be able to actually push in that northwest sector without infantry that was just destroyed. So in a bad moment tempo wise, FlynRyan investing into expensive SAS units. Motorized air mobiles getting taken out by the Wizard Curry. Oh, and these are vetted up. Both of them getting taken out by the Wizard Curry. Wizard Curry, amazing unit, like positioning there for Ludie. That unit has only been doing well. And SAS getting hit, getting struck by another attack.
T-72 in the middle though, under attack. And we have a Fox pretty deep in the south. There might be an option here for FlynRyan to maybe get into Gregory. Foxes and Rover Milans also now pushing around from the side. Kill towards the T-72 is coming. Can they smoke off in time? One of them, I think, is out of smoke. Gets stunned down again. Challenger slowly crawling forward. Try to get around there. The Fox helping out from the side. Milan 2 is firing one more time. Rover getting another ATGM out. One T-72 goes down. Challenger could help out maybe with the other T-72. Engine is damaged. T-72 leader is still there as well. There's two Challengers around for it though. So that could be doable. Fox tries to get into a better spot as well. T-72 M1 down to 1 hit point there. So the Challengers can take it out. Another kill there against the tanks. This is pretty important. Can the T-72 M1K leader in the middle be found as well? If so, then this game might turn around once it. SU-25 gets a kill against one Challenger. Key kill there. SAS not able to retaliate this time around. There are Phantoms coming in, but they are a bit late. Big artillery firing from the rear. Gets a kill onto some Iglas. Motostrelci are still there though. SAS not in range for the artillery. The M107 getting a bit more damage. Phantom goes down. MiG-29 does survive against the Harrier. Harrier in trouble there above the coop. Challenger not able to deal with the T-72. Has to fall back there. Fox not getting the kill, and in the end, the kills on both sides are pretty long in the middle. But that is fine for Ludie. Ludie can replace these units. SAS and Challengers falling on the other side, though. Those are irreplaceable, so FlynRyan here losing the key units of the 2nd UK.
Yeah, FlynRyan is now going all in on sending the Foxes to just do anything. And at this rate, they will probably at least take out the coup, spotting it now and opening fire with one of the Foxes, second one moving towards it from another direction. But at the same time, up north, once again, a bad infantry fight for FlynRyan. The Wizard Curry engaging the SAS on long range. SAS using only its light machine guns. It's out of cover. And even the T-55 is moving in here. Just the macro, the ability to control all these units at the same time. And now FlynRyan buying a bunch of units. This was obviously what they were looking at when that SAS was destroyed by the Wizard Curry. And once again, now no infantry up north to actually push this. Challenger now taking some shots against the Wizard Curry.
Fox here getting missed twice by the T-72. Finally smoking off, disengaging far enough away to hide again. As a Mi-24 V-AT comes around though, but two Foxes might be able to do some damage there. The M107 getting some good hits against the T-72 M1K leader as well, but there is little infantry left here. Yeah, the infantry fights in general have been going pretty terribly for FlynRyan. He has gotten some decent mech fights here. Fox in the rear here, still continuing doing some damage, but they didn't quite get through to the Dana. That would have been a big find. And we have a Jaguar cluster coming around for the T-72. That should be a kill. And it might be able to get around on the Mi-24. Oh, leaves it at 2 hit points. That might be good enough for the Fox to finish off the job. But the Fox has to be careful there in the rear. A lot of other deadly units around it. At least will stop the tick here. But Ludie is on enough points here to get W here if the game stops now. Jaguar gets the kill, but the new coup is already on the battlefield. There is another coup in the north, so might still get hit here on the way out. Missile coming around. Ooh, it's lucky here. 20% ECM on this one. At the same time, the CV rover in the north had to disengage away from the Dana. Fox in the rear line here still maybe could do some damage. He is on hold fire though. Not engaging right now. Maybe should start doing some damage here again. As there are a lot of units there. Kills the CV. T-72 now pushing towards it again. So the Fox is disengaging away there. Might have to deal with the Svatava here in the middle. The Svatava has the better optics, so it engages first. Fox gets to shoot a salvo here, but I don't believe it will be enough to get the kill there, and it gets stunned. Svatava can fire more guns. The big new challenger, the double challenger leader push plus warriors, that is what has to bring the difference here in the middle. And yeah, Fox goes down. The 107mm artillery piece is trying to counter battery, but is finding nothing. And yeah, what's going on in the north at the meantime?
Up north, the Challenger has been pushed back by T-55 and Motostrelci fire, not via damage, by just pushing it on low cohesion. And now with the motorized air mobiles getting in here, the motorized air mobiles are going to have to wait for a moment because the Challenger is not in combat shape right now. So just bad tempo and just bad timings all around. But meanwhile, FlynRyan doing the big attack here. Challenger driving in, getting side shot by Motostrelci. Challenger leader going in and trying to just head check these AT weapons. Most likely will be able to do that, considering those things actually ran out of weaponry. Oh, but FlynRyan doesn't know that, and is running away from the defenseless infantry. Just an unfortunate there. Even the Milan 2 missing its free shot against the T-72. And with reinforcements constantly coming in, and now with the Su-25 waiting and once again lurking on the background, maybe waiting for the challengers to show themselves and overextend.
It sees one of them, gets a missile out, and it gets the kill there with a gun plus missile combo. The challenger can survive a frontal missile hit, but with the gun damage on top, the damage was done there by the Su-25K. Phantom not quick enough there, maybe not on a hotkey, maybe had to be clicked from the bottom to be brought up, and then the reaction time a bit too slow there. S25 gets through and gets the kill. Igla and Coop killing off the Phantom. This is not looking good for Ryan right now. The final investment into the final remaining heavy tanks in the middle not working out right now, and the northern position is pretty dicey as well. There is a challenger at least who as an anchor unit up there that can push the enemy away, but at the same time, the center is now currently collapsing as well. T-72s there starting to become bigger in numbers. All the warrior Milans of the first round have been finished off, and there is way more infantry here for Ludie than there is for Ryan.
Yeah, the RT ships being in here and giving spotting against the Challenger Mach 2 leader, and basically making it safe for the T-72s to come in and engage it at will. Meanwhile, it also takes a salvo of Dana shots, so it's stunned and a low cohesion. Just engagements are really going badly for FlynRyan. The aggro curse of not getting to do your aggro on your terms, and then getting immediately kind of kettled in as the riot police does, and slowly dismantled. The challenger play here has been the great example of the kind of desperation that you have to do when you don't get infantry fights on your terms. The challengers have to carry so much, and they're not the worst units, especially not for their price, but they have really bad speed, so they are not great at doing this kind of peekaboo gameplay. They are really under risk of the Su-25s catching them, and if you take too slow on not engaging stuff with the challengers, the enemy is just going to have a superior number of T-72s. So you have to play aggro.
Coming around again, gets another one. That's the last remaining of the normal challengers in the middle. Only one CV1 left now. Yeah, the AA situation is dicey. If you mess up your Phantom gameplay and you run them over the enemy AA, then you are in a bit of trouble with second UK, especially once the SAS are dead. They, with the Stingers, carry you through the early game, but Tractor Pierce and Javelins are pretty low tier when it comes to being AA, and then the Su-25 can run like this, get the kills, and now the T-72s outnumber the Challenger 2-1 in the middle, and can just take the engagement. Challenger already pretty stunned down, gets hit once more time there, and Two M1s here, slowly pushing forward, trying to find more damage. Get the bailout. Not that it would really matter anyways, since the Challenger is about to die. Down to 1 hit point. Jaguar cluster coming around. At least finds the kill there. Coop gets another missile out. Gets the kill there on the Jaguar in return. And there goes the Challenger. So the air numbers here getting reduced once more as well. B2 goes down. And yeah, second UK. Really strong against the other fast decks in my eyes, because it has the better late game than those decks. But against decks that are mid-tier, like 20th Concerna, like 19th, it struggles a bit. And here is a good show from Ludie on how to deal with it. This was a pretty smooth game, all considered so far, by the Czechoslovak player here. Ludie doing a really, really good job with the 19th.
Yeah, I think the overinvestment into Boris needs to be the culprit here. Like, if there had been a double-pronged attack, one into Boris and one into Gregory, I think that would have gained more ground. It would have gained more positions that would basically, for the moment, early on, would be UK positions to take, which would then draw a bunch of resources away from Ludie. Ludie having to build a wider front line.
Oh no, the S-25 is coming around again and nothing is there to stop it. And it gets another Challenger kill. Tractor here, able to get a missile on target. But the S-25 is still alive. Javelin gets one more hit. I don't think the Tractor here will be able to hit the last hit there. Oh, MCAS cursed it. The S-25 goes down, but it did the job. There are no heavy tanks remaining, so its job is done anyway. And now the T-72s and BMP-2s basically can just mop it up and push over the remaining stuff. It's a +1 here. It's 400 points to 200 points already. So Ludie already in winning territory here, and there's nothing with push potential really left in the second UK at this point.
Yeah, the push potential was early on. The plan of allowing the enemy to exhaust their intro advantage in the middle, and then basically positioning all the units, expecting exactly what FlynRyan was doing. And yeah, I'd say that after that there were multiple minutes of the Czech player just being able to buy and buy and buy the standard core group of units necessary. And of course, not having the early air defense, relying completely on the SAS, was also a mistake, considering the MiG-29 could just go and hunt down those hell arms completely unchallenged. And even though the Dana opener may have not been the most effective one, or not the Dana opener, but the early Dana buy, because that opened and stretched the window that UK troops would have used the Saxons to move all around the place. But that would have been a risky play. It would have been a big play. It would have been maybe a game-winning play, but just trying to hold on second UK's fundamentals was the choice, and I don't think that's really that valid against the T-72s, especially not when they failed to reach the tank advantage early on. Like at that point, Ludie has been deciding the way this game goes, has been opening up engagements, has been using these single VSAT cutter units, not doing infantry spam, but using these powerful spec ops squads to methodically one-to-one engage enemy infantry, and then when there is something threatening it, you just run off. That's a really nice place for the VSAT cutter to be, I think, considering they probably have the best infantry to infantry damage in the game right now, in this game, with these two divisions.
Yeah, and the +1 does continuously take on here, getting Ludie further and further ahead. And only 40 minutes remaining. No aggressive force here. Only units that can hold ground a bit with Milan 2 teams, with infantry that has good AT, that you can't just push into the mod airmobile. They are pretty decent aggressive infantry as well, with the L86A1 light rifle. But the light support weapons that can be fired on the move. The British infantry is actually decent in moving into positions for infantry fights, but they still need the fire support. It that is just not here. No tanks to clear out enemy vehicles, and no warriors with enough autocannon fire support that could help out and stun down the enemy infantry, or stuff like that. And the air tab has been heavily thinned out as well. The helicopters have been stopped from being effective thanks to enough Iglas and troops and Yestercars around on the battlefield. And now the big T-72 blob here in the middle just stayed out of the range of the infantry AT weapons in the middle and cleans up unit after unit there.
Yeah, I think like FlynRyan could have just switched off a few anti-infantry units, maybe removed the air mobile pioneers, maybe removed some warriors early on, and instead get like 1 or 2 extra rover Milans, and instead of holding the town from the entrance by having the SAS sit there, instead doing like a large concave side ATGM defense. If the area south of Boris, currently held by the RT ships and the Svatava, if those positions would have been controlled, or at least like under risk of being controlled by some rover Milans, the T-72s would not have been able to move as freely, and that could have given the not just like occasional free kills, but also would have been able to give the challengers a little bit of a respite. So the challengers would have this ATGM wall that they could that they could retreat behind, or that the challengers could maybe follow the ATGMs when the ATGM spot something, but there was not enough infantry to be killed by all of those anti-infantry forces that FlynRyan bought, and Ludie very smartly just didn't allow those engagements to happen. Now, as the infantry are pushing in with the security troops, the 10-man squads, and all the motostrelci, the every engagement here has Jesterkas, has BMP 1s and 2s, and has T-72s out there. It's really just by the book from Ludie. No bad decisions here, no significant ones at least. And FlynRyan I think FlynRyan could probably execute this by reviewing the opener and playing just like 20% more aggressively.
Yeah, the ordeal here getting pushed back. Elitel, Motostrelki holding the middle though now, keeping the +1 going, and now Ludie does finish off the northern part of the map as well, does clear it out and gets through there and gets with that the +2 online, 10 minutes remaining, and there's no hope here really for FlynRyan at this point to get this back. Really, really solid game from Ludie. Like, this is what I was talking about when we had a preview of Division 3. Division 3 this season are seasoned players. Like, there's everybody is above 50% win rate. Division 3 never has been this good. And really only Division 4 are the newer faces. Even there we have veterans this season. So WARNO League quality in general, I think Division 1 is the best it ever has been as well. And yeah, I think that goes through the whole group. All 80 players on average are in a really good spot. It's nice to have new faces here that also perform pretty well, and Ryan will have to step it up if he wants to bring it back here against Ludie in game number 2. So as we said, he was pretty close in the early game. He just needs to push that a bit harder, and then he has a shot. But yeah, second UK, if you get off the tempo too early, you are in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, the method to achieve that tempo is, so like going into WARNO theory here, if you only have the single area, there are only very few engagement lines, very few places that your infantry can be bought to actually achieve something. And 2nd UK infantry does achieve a lot of stuff. It is good infantry, from the armored rifles to the air mobile pioneers to the SAS, all of it's very good. And just having smaller numbers of infantry go into a larger number of zones, larger number of directions, just multiplies the amount of places where you can have those engagements. If you're playing aggressively but also conservatively, as FlynRyan did here, you can be played around a round off. But one SAS attacking the forest in north of Boris, one SAS attacking the middle, and third SAS attacking the south side. Now that is something that an enemy player has to completely play around with. That's not something where you can just say, oh, well, I'm just going to transition into T's and the twos, and this is going to fix itself.
And I think the VIP, the most valuable player here, unit of this game, the MVP of this, was the Wizardkari in the forest in the north that won a couple of infantry duels and then also got 2 transport kills against armored rifles in Warrior Milan. So, or was it actually against? No, it was against the mod airmobiles, but it got 2 armored rifles and 2 Warrior Milan kills as well. Killed 3 Saxons off, killed the scouts. So that Wizardkari, absolute MVP here, and really stopped Ryan from getting through the middle. And without that, there would have absolutely been a shot of maybe destroying the enemy infrastructure. Like, if you get to push the middle, then you have to push deeper, then you have to get the Dana, then you have to get the AA and dismantle the enemy's complete combined arms. And then that play style is valid as well, but you have to push that level deeper with the aggressive division, with the forward deployed division that doesn't have a late game if you want to win that.
Visatkari. And no, I will not try the other lyrics for now.
So, yeah, with that, we will see if Ryan can make a comeback, guys. Quick break, then we're gonna be back with game number 2 here between Ludie and FlynRyan. Really, really good show from Ludie here in game 1. And here we go into game number 2 with Ludie up 1-0. And we are on Chandra, the second mirrored map, looking somewhat similar, but being pretty different in the layout. A lot more open fields, and flanking really only being through the forests on the side. And we're gonna have a really interesting opening here, but before we jump in there, quick shout out to the Metrino page, guys, where you can support the crowdfunding of the tournament, and big thanks to all of you who helped out already. We already crushed all 50 codes there. I will request more of these codes to be so that we can claim them again in a couple of weeks. We are currently on cooldown. Big thanks to all of you for helping out with the free money. All the free money is in the pool for now. And then also big thank you for the direct support, getting us to over $460 already. Username and 36 here being the latest, coming in with $10 and $50 contribution, and getting us really close to the $500 goal already, which would be Protoss in a Cold War uniform for the finals cast. So if you want to see me all dressed up again, as we had it in season 1, this time I will see what kind of uniform I can get my hands on. That won't be East German this time around. Yeah,
So
let me know.
are we thinking Khmer Rouge maybe?
No.
No.
We're not gonna roleplay as as that, but yeah, we're gonna see what we can get our hands on. So I actually would have had maybe context into that, but I don't think YouTube would love that. Yeah, we have Ludie on the right side here, bringing around 4th Divisa, setting up here, and then we have FlynRyan, who wasn't really quick on the setup, and that is not hard because there was only a few units that Ryan really put in, and most of them are the same kind, as we have 7 VEC 25s on the front line already.
Yeah, so the VEC25, it's kind of like a discount LAV from 82nd with the same Bushmaster gun, 2 armor on the front, has a smoke launcher, 100 kph, 85 kph off-road. Very good unit. Only weakness is that it doesn't have very good optics, only has good optics. But
so does the LAV by now. So by now they are basically identical.
Yeah, but it's not like the Dutch M113 CNV, which does get very good optics, and that being its main counterpart here also has the same gun, but is significantly slower. But so
it also
Chandra
only has
here,
1 frontal armor, which I think will be the deciding factor in the fights between these two, as the VEC can survive a salvo of the 4 penetration gun, whilst the M113 does take double damage from autocannons, so it will die. And I think that gives the VEC a massive advantage in the fights between these two. And that makes me pretty worried here for Ludie. He will need the Leopard 1 and Ls here to show up. Otherwise, there's little for him that can stop the VEC rush.
Yeah, we're seeing a full-on mechanized opener attack coming in for FlynRyan. So the Spanish division, from what I've played of it and what I've seen of it, doesn't seem to be exceptionally powerful, but the power that it does have is in doing and trying out this kind of stuff. The aggro gameplay is supported naturally by having really good airplanes, not just the cheaper bombers, but also the Hornets, of course, the VEC-25s and the forward deploying recon AMX-30s also can give you an early force multiplier. And on this really wide map, if you're playing the more defensive side, which in this case the Dutch are, because the Dutch tanks are so overpowering to anything the Spanish can bring out, that the Dutch can naturally just kind of sit back by their iHawks, by their recon, and wait until they can scale into heavy equipment. But this is naturally going to leave some place vulnerable, and with the really fast deployment time of a bunch of the Spanish units, they're going to try to set themselves in between Foxtrot and Echo. And if you look at Foxtrot, there is a recon road going into Echo, and also recon road going both going to base from Echo and Foxtrot. So the area that the Spanish are going in is going to try to threaten both of those recon roads, leaving only the third one going into the middle town open. And that would be a pretty big tactical early victory. And with these really long ranges, the Spanish have really great ATGMs, and they have them in numbers. The ATGM carriers are modern and fast and have smoke, and the ATGMs are TOW2s, and you get 12 of them.
Yeah, we have a good couple of sneaky units here on the sides. One VEC in the south trying to go deep. We have a Exploratores in the UE coming in, flying along the edge of the map here, and being buffed lately with the slightly cheaper UEs now, costing only 35 points. So helicopter incursions like this are a bit more affordable, not costing your front line quite as much. And here we go, first F-18 on the front line as well. Kills the BO. Does it go for the fight against the F-16? Yes, it does. Gets a missile out, gets a hit, gets the kill. And the IHawk has been deployed. Didn't get the hit with the first missile. Can it get the hit with the second one? Nope. The 40% ECM keeping the F-18 safe here and letting it escape. Now we have the first VC versus M113 duel, and there we go. VC gets a hit. It does deal a lot of damage there, gets the kill, and does win the duel. And that is a lot of trouble for Ludie itself. Can the Vacanners get the ambush there? That would be pretty important. Another M113 does die in the north. So does the Nantres. VCs here really start to penetrate.
Yeah, the VECs are quite expensive for this kind of units. They're 70 points, so if they get like 2 kills, that's probably enough to pay for them. But those kills also need to be somehow tactically relevant. Now, the VECs
getting onto the mortars here in the rear line. One of them gets killed by the big blob, but the mortar carrier here is in trouble now and gets killed off. Might even find the IHawk potentially. Might find the CV there. Leopard 1 and Ls are a good investment there. That's the best buy I think Ludie can do right now. They are pretty effective against the VC, but YPR gets wiped out as well there. Good micro by Ryan there. Another VC coming around for the southern flank. The AMX-30s keep on moving forward with that. The AMX-30 EM1 recon tank with good penetration, but lower range gets brought up here in the south as well. Who get a push onto Echo. Hick is slightly in favor of Ryan as well, but that's not the important part here. The important parts are the kills and the annoyance that can be achieved. The Exploratores at least gets killed in the UE before they can drop out. So that's a good one, but the center is already in danger here, and the VSCs just keep Ludie stretched really thin here.
Yeah, this kind of strategy is pretty fitting against the Dutch because the Dutch don't have attack helicopters. They have the BO-105 recon helis, and they're going to be deployed here to hunt down. But the VECs could, with decent enough luck and good control, could burst down the BO-4 health helicopter pretty quickly. And are the Dutch going to be buying their cheaper fighter bombers, the freedom fighters, to take care of these? Most likely not. So for now, the VECs seem to have they seem to have served their purpose. But on the other hand, if Ludie can actually get these good engagements happening in the middle right now, suppressing this recon vehicle here, there are no tanks. The PRIs with the rotor cannons are holding fire supremacy, and it's going to take some time for FlynRyan to actually both fortify Delta and Charlie and also keep exploiting the area around Echo. Now, VEC is getting some shots off on reinforcing units. This is exactly what I was talking about. Controlling the most direct route.
Cluster gets a kill on the CV and the MX-30 Recon. That is pretty big. One of the MX-30 Recons also got killed off in the center. So 2 of them down now. Some reinforcements get killed off here, but the Leo one's getting some important kill. The cluster bomber gets some important kills, and Ludie with a good attack in the north. Ryan is completely open there. Only has the 1 VC behind enemy lines. There's nothing in Charlie or Delta. So I think Ludie is playing this correctly right now, but the VEC is still finding more paths here. The TOW2 launcher is really, really deadly for the Leopard 1 and L as well, so that one has to disengage away there. And the MX-30 EM2 that is coming up outclasses them as well. This means if you want to deal with those, you then kind of need something like a Leopard 2, and that then will be an expensive buy. So I think buying 2-3 AMX-30 EM2s here is a really good choice from Ryan.
Yeah, one of the things that the Spanish get more than other nations are the Lag 40 grenade launchers. They come both in transports and transported by the 40 millimeters can be transported by 40 millimeter transports. And the Fusileros, the infantry unit with no AT that was just destroyed by the PRIs, also comes in a transport with 40 millimeters. And right now, the 40 millimeter actually destroying one of the PRIs and nearly destroying the second one, considering there is no recon here to spot this small weapon team for the moment. And the AMX-30 E's, yes, these are the cheap ones. The E's are the cheap ones. They have only heat weaponry, so they are going to be very easily dispatched by the Leopard 1 NLs on any ranges, really. But that E AMX is supposed to basically act as soft fire support for the actual tanks, the AMX-30 EM2s, which have the kinetic penetrators.
Yeah, we have a Toa now coming around. +2 for Ludie. Good counterattack in the north. The middle of Ryan did fold. Didn't have enough ATGMs there around. And a couple of VECs got caught out in the open in the south as well. So a couple, too many of them died there lately. Got some Leo 1 and Ls killed off as well. But here we go. Leo 2A4B already on the battlefield. This is an important investment here by Ludie. That can stop the AMX-30 EM2 game real quick, because it is not only way heavier armored and has a way better gun than the French design, it also has the same speed. So the AMX-30 EM2 can't easily run or hunt them down. And if you micro the Leo 2, they should absolutely dominate there. One Leopard 1 and L going down in the middle. The MX-30 is there, still doing their job. More EM2s coming in. Some Exploratores being flown in as well. And yeah, the Leo 2 is the key factor here now in my eyes. A bit of a recon issue for Ludie in the south right now. Only has one fair canners and nothing else there really to spot. And that's a bit dangerous if you have Leopard 2s, because their side armor isn't great. Ooh, F-18 gets a good hit. Missiles from both sides kill each other though, and that's a win for Ludie. Has the cheaper plane there with the F-16 AA, and has the cluster bomber still in the air undamaged. But yeah, the recon issue here is real right now. All the January cannons got gunned down, so new ones need to be brought up. M113 CV coming in, but there is the VEC-25 still in the rear line there. But the F-16 cluster, oh, gets pushed back there in time. F-15 F-18 not coming around in time there. AMX-30s, can they find the hit? No. The Roland 2 AMX-30s not able to get the kill there. Really key engagements here. Both sides relatively low on units right now. Any kill could swing the game right now.
Yeah, so the Spanish are buying the Aspide Toledo, which is their highest tech anti-air missile. It is medium range and it has really nice fire rate, at least. Also salvo length of 4, so it can fire its stuff pretty quickly. But still all around, not like a top tier AA weapon. Decent one, in my experience, works pretty well. But the M110 on Ludie's side is just going to be targeting the Aspide the moment they realize that it's not a self-propelled AA missile. And a good player can recognize whether something is radar optics or whether it's infrared, which is what the Roland 2s are, by the fact that the radar has way faster aiming time. So if something seems like it's firing really quickly, in that case, it is going to be an Aspide Toledo, because there are no other radar AA units in the Spanish division. Spanish also buying their own M110, the 203 millimeter super heavy howitzer, but this one, no, it does have the same. I thought it was like an older version, but it does have the same stats as the Dutch one.
Yeah, and we still have a VEC pretty close to that M110 of Ludie there. The VEC will find the Verkenner's AT. Killing off recon here is pretty key as well, so getting the kill there is big. And if the VEC can find the IHawk, can find the M110, that would be devastating here. AMX-30 versus Leopard 1 and L in the forest. Leopard 1 and L gets a good hit, but not quite the kill. M113 goes down behind it. MX30 does miss. And so does the Leopard 1 and L. Leopard 2 is coming around now, but that gets side-shotted by the MX30. That's what I was talking about. If you don't have the recon, you are really vulnerable. Down to 1 hit point, even the MX30 can finish it off, and it does do the job there. Gets the kill, and that is devastating. There's so little left here for Ludie now in the south. Plus the bomber coming around. 2 MX30s here, just running completely deep without any recon. But there is next to nothing here for Ryan. One of the issues of the Dutch is that the infantry is not something you want to rely on super heavily, and so there is not that much of it around here right now. F-18 in the skies again. Ihawk reveals itself there, might be hunted down by the MX-30s now. We have a big push coming north. F-18 gets some good hits, doesn't quite get the F-16 kill there. Ihawk might get the kill back there, not quite. Now the VEC is in range. Will start to kill off the YPR transport and then push for the Ihawk. And the southern capture here is big, is what enabled the +1 now. There is a Leopard 1 and L with a Panzer infantry in the middle, so the MX-30E there should get killed off. But the MX-30 EM2s there in the north, without any recon, this is super risky play, but I think Ryan knows that there is blood in the water and that Ludie is so close to collapse completely, and it's just hunting it right now. And Ludie having to invest into more air here currently isn't great. The HE bomber here trying to rescue the Ihawk, but comes too late. Ihawk gets killed off. The transport gets captured, so line of sight gets lost there as well. And yeah, there is so little left for our player in red here.
Yeah, the FlynRyan just amazingly exploiting the breakthrough that they got. Just the wrong move here would have been to try to like permanently contest Charlie to build a front line against the enemy that has stronger equipment than you do, just completely bypassing it, sending these AMX-30s into taking rather, in some cases, pretty risky positions, but with the confidence of keeping track of where your enemy is, what your enemy has been buying, how well you've been trading. With that confidence, you can start doing wacky stuff like that, and really just having those tanks already building up the concave. So when the when the Leopard 2 leader moved in to participate in that engagement, it was beautiful. It was exactly what you need to do. You cannot do it in any other way. And now we're having these engagements where AMX-30s are behind enemy lines. They are literally cutting off the enemy, making it so that the forces that Ludie had put in the front are completely like not even part of the game. Technically, they might as well could have surrendered at this point. And this means Ludie is going to have to basically rebuild a fighting force outside of all the zones. Outside, maybe Hotel. Hotel is technically still, I'd say, belongs to Ludie, but everything else has been cut off. And there's still 26 minutes left. There are no massive, huge points differences. So it's not like Ludie can't recover from this, but that would take repeated great engagements, and the Spanish high-tech advantage, the thing that the Spanish have invested their precious South European military development dollars into, euros, are the BMRCC tow carriers. And these things are going to flood the right side of the map, and without basically like a permanent recon coverage of everything here, it's going to be complete hell for those Leopard 2 A4Cs or any Leopards really to actually engage the Spanish.
Yeah, Leopard 2's here pushing forward without recon, and Ludie does realize that they maybe lost a bit too much there. The KD in the end is in favor of Ryan by a good amount. It wasn't completely busted there. Ludie still got some kills back, but they were playing the more expensive division, the division that wasn't quite as flexible, and Ryan really used the field, used the board perfectly like you want to do it with the MX-30s, and it kind of reminded me of old school 5e gameplay when the MX-10s were still cheaper and the MX-30s were still a bit cheaper as well. And yeah, really well done here by Ryan, getting a score on the board as well. And yeah, Ludie did try a lot there to hold on. Did play pretty well. I liked the counter push in the north. That was well executed. But just lost a couple too many recon units. And then overextended with the Leo 2. And that was the end of it, basically. When that Leo 2 A4 leader died, the game kind of collapsed over.
Yeah, it's really difficult to do that kind of a push. Like if you were on Vertigo, moving your units on that part of the map would be pretty safe. Like you know where the line of conflict is because the map is so small and compact. You are always going to have a decent understanding of what's happening and where. But in this case, the large map, the wide map, and the bunch of VEC 25s all around the place, even attempting to do the helicopter drop, the infantry recon, all of that is a risk. It is an inherent risk, and even though the recon helicopter would go around and would try to find those VEC 25s, you have to pay attention to that recon helicopter because otherwise the autocannons can just burst it down. So that's all just more extra work for the player to actually deploy those heavy tanks. And I personally am very into seeing what's going to happen with Chandra, what is going to be the permanent Chandra meta. I think we already saw kind of the both the risks and the successes in trying that kind of an all-out. I wouldn't even call that a recon rush. I think that was just a very kind of deep dive recon opener. A recon rush would basically have them using recon infantry to take ground. But yeah, a huge fan of those games. Ludie, an exceptional player, at least on like previous Division 3 standards, on just having good unit combinations, having good micro, having a good understanding of what is the what the order of operations is when you're moving units and what is going to happen and where. And in the early game, we saw those sorts of kind of core fundamentals just completely beast over FlynRyan's aggro. And in this case, I think exactly because the aggro was dedicated. The aggro was not abandoned early on, but the aggro immediately started getting paid, started getting results. So FlynRyan was more confident in keeping up the aggro and relying on the gains gained by the aggro. And even when the cluster bomber got their avenge bombing, the revenge bombing, even then that was kind of a proof for FlynRyan that okay, he's using a bomber to destroy these tanks that are like 9 armor. There can't be anything else here. So FlynRyan would just buy more units and keep exploiting that advantage despite losing those tanks. And yeah, really nice to see. Love them. Love both players. Excellent games.
Yeah, and that brings us to the next match. We're gonna see the Medinator return. Pretty excited for that as well. Let's get into Division 2. Let's have a look what Meddi can in there. Quick break, guys. Be back. So here we return, everybody, as we go into Medinator versus somebody on the left side whose name I just googled, and I wasn't pleased, to be honest, as it's a mix of two fascist bullshit meanings. One of the slogan of the Italian fascists, and the other is basically meaning anti-fascism. So yeah, we're gonna be pretty biased here, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's the punishment. You sneak something like that beyond Protoss, and we're going to make fun of you. Like, I get being a fascist. You know, sexual insecurity. You don't know what you like or about the world. The world doesn't know you. You don't know how to externalize yourself, so you attach yourself into an imaginary kind of a totem of power. But
Maybe
then
you
imagine
also
doing
like
that.
the gay vibes of Mussolini being
Yeah, but also
showing
being
us.
an Italian. Like, come on, like, dude. Fascism is the most northern European thing because it's like you want to be the machine man. You want to be the Prussian soldier who is completely unemotional. Like, imagine being an Italian. Like, seriously, imagine being an Italian and not chill about it. Hilarious. Oh,
so yeah, we already had been fans of Meddi before. We're gonna be even bigger fans of Meddi in this one. And yeah, we have Meddi on a division that is pretty special as well, and not kind of like going kind of against what Meddi usually stands for. 25th Guards Tank Corps here. And yeah, I will have to check on this afterwards in the rule set. Because yeah, this is against the rule set absolutely. So we'll have to find a solution for that. But that's for after the cast. Meanwhile, we have Rajvetkas here on the right side. We have T64 Ace coming in on the battlefield here as well. And then on the left side, we have a couple of Abrams, third US here, with Iowa Warrior. That can always be devastating in the opener. And yeah, the T64 OBRs, they were stupidly cost efficient in the past. They are still really good at what they're doing. So this is going to be interesting. And yeah, looking forward to see how Meddi is going to play this around Boris. This deployment is looking pretty well. And this
yeah,
is
and I'm thinking, like, I think this might be the first time I've ever seen anybody do a tank all in into Boris. If you look at the routing of those OBR 83s, generally I think Kryder is a pretty good map for 25th. Kryder, you can benefit from having the cheap tanks early on. You can benefit a lot from having the good recon, the UAV recon to check these certain forests kind of quickly and reasonably safely. And but generally, we have seen, and we've also seen Meddi try to play for Dimitri, to go for the highway and cut off Dimitri, and that way basically get yourself Gregory for free as well. Boris is the opener landing strip. That is the place where people invest most early on. So Meddi is kind of countering expectations by instead doing the tank all in on the Boris. The angle is not the best, but also the infantry AT weapons that are going to be used by the Americans also are not the best. There are AT4s in one squad, and outside of that, it's really going to be ATGMs and Abramses that are going to be fighting these tanks. And if Meddi can have those tanks right under the corner on Boris, right behind the hill, and then have some infantry inside doing the spotting, that could be very valuable because that could basically force the enemy to abandon the forest right on the left side of Boris, and then basically the M1 Abramses or whatever is would have to move way further away, either up the plateau or back towards the reinforcement line. But a one Abrams, Bradley, and a bunch of infantry is more than enough if well controlled, if supported by the Kiowa, if supported by Apaches or bombers, that could maybe beat back Meddi there. Meddi only having a single Biryusa, no coup there, but probably is going to invest into a fighter, considering 25th does get pretty decent air support. Nevertheless, Meddi here holding up the torch of anti-fascism for the moment. And we have always been big fans of Meddi because Meddi is the guy who kind of throws caution to wind and tries out new stuff even when it is completely stupid. And this here is not completely stupid, as you said. This is actually way more sensible than what Meddi is usually done, maybe due to the historical weight of our moment in the world. Meddi recognizes the seriousness of the situation.
Yeah, that's also kind of a Meddi map. I tried being a really, really fun one. And hello there, team in place. Welcome back to the stream. We have T64, Ace, and BMP2s here moving towards the center, towards Boris. And yeah, the MiG-29 immediately out. Getting a kill on the Kiowa Warrior would be big. There is a Phantom on the other side, though. So the MiG-29 has to be careful. Phantom, currently one of the most cost-efficient, if not the most cost-efficient fighter out there. But the MiG-29 gets the first missile out. Gets the first hit. Can it get the kill? Yes, it can.
Oh, yeah.
Meddi getting first blood. Big one here. Now can start hunting down the Kiowa. You still have 2 R-73s here left. So that Kiowa Warrior is now open for kills. It gets microed behind the lines there. But Redredka micro there. Good from Meddi as well. Keeping that alive for now. Getting closer there. And we have M150s here coming around. Meddi gets out once more. Kiowa Warrior does miss. There are snipers in the middle. But Kiowa nearly out of missiles now. 150 there, running low as well. Redredka hiding behind the hill now, getting away there. We have Redredkas coming in the south. We have the CV, the M1 here coming in.
Oh.
M109 does go down to the Phantom. That is unfortunate. T64s coming in, conquers there on a good line of sight there towards the south. As the M1 here getting close enough to open fire in a second as well. So the M60s, the T64s can't come around fast enough here. Scouts and will run into the Commandantura here in a second. Conquers, starts engaging. Redredka will likely move up there in a second to give some recon for the T64s. Plus the Conquerors does miss again. And yeah, T64s now on the flank here. 2 of them plus the BMP2s. Moving forward, Smoke tries to be annoying there. Tries to pick line of sight for the recon. The M1A1 gets hit, but the Kiowa gets a stun here out as well. And the Fire Team 84 stuns down the T64 too. M1A1 moving around now. Both tanks aiming here. T64 smoking off. Ryuza getting some fire on the Kiowa Warrior. Good movement there. Unfortunate. Doesn't get the kill there. As the M1A1 under fire, T64 gets the kill. This is big. T64 not quite getting the M150 here. Gets routed by it. That is unfortunate. And yeah, we get some fire team law kills. We get a couple of kills against the 84s as well. As Meddi does push forward. Loses the T64 there to the Bradley. Bradley always dangerous. And the Kiowa Warrior here with the sneaky landed play comes back up now. Will try to use more Hellfires, and there is unfortunately no AA here right now for Meddi. So this is really, really dangerous.
Yeah, currently in the forest, there are no American infantry with the AT weapons, so the T64 should be able to just drive through there and get some free kills as the Kiowa Warrior fires its last Hellfire and misses its last Hellfire. An Su-25 rocket is coming in here. The Italian early bought an F-15, which has been wasting away out there, and now completely mismicroing. F-15 is not doing anything. What is air defense doing? Meddi getting a free engineer kill there and finding out that there is basically nothing dangerous here. And now the F-15 moving in finally, getting that free kill with an Su-27
doesn't get a hit in there. Unfortunate there for Meddi. Turns around quicker though, gets a hit on the way out, but doesn't get the kill. Nothing there to finish it off. We have a Hawk here as well, so another MiG-29 investment most likely should come around next minute to get the Kiowa, and then maybe the Hawk on the way out, as the T-64s have to stay a bit more defensive here. Next minute buy could come in now. We have an Igla, we don't have a MiG-29 yet. We have a M1A1 HA in the south here, rolling forward as well. That is a dangerous little unit as well. The engineers in the middle get cleared up for now. Good fights there by Meddi. Gets the engineers more under fire. Has a Ural there in a good spot to his support the units as well. Whilst the Hawk is moving forward. There comes the MiG-29. Kiowa Warrior out in the open this time around. Finally gets finished off. Hawk is in a dangerous spot as well. Stinger does miss. And the MiG-29 here coming around once more. Will try to get some kill here onto the Hawk. And yeah, flies in. The Hawk is out in the open. Does miss. Doesn't quite get the kill there. The T-64s have heavy MGs though, so they maybe can do the job here on their own as they get to open fire. M1A1HA is dangerous, so the two C-64s here would have to fight together there, maybe get the kill. Meanwhile, in the north, nothing really happening. Meddi gets the northern zone captured, conquers, does engage against the Bradley and the CEV. If it could get the kill on the Bradley, that would be pretty helpful there. Once the smoke mortar rotates around as well. No side gets the south. More T-64s coming along. Mud CP here, driving up north now. And CV gets caught. Bradley does stay alive though. Conqueror's not able to find the hit there.
Yeah, the Meddi's investment reinforcements being so much in the tankage, so many tanks here. I think this is kind of a bad omen, considering no amount of T-64s is realistically going to uptrade against the HA Abrams, unless Meddi has got something planned here. And I think that something could probably be pretty easily managed with the smoke mortar. If Meddi actually wants to do this and just going to rush the Abrams under smoke cover, then taking out the Hog here, the Su-27 going on and taking out a Phantom that was lurking on the backlines here, with the Su-27 be very much capable of diving in the Hog now. Igla is in a wrong direction to do that for the moment.
The Hawk still flying here, will get caught, will get shot down. Important kill there for Meddi. Eagle coming around though, unfortunately getting the kill in return. Su-27 coming around once more, getting help from the Eagler. Eagler gets a hit. Can the Su-27 do the job and finish it off? No, can't get another hit in. And Meddi doesn't want to risk it further. Flies away now, as you don't want to fly into the enemy spawn when the next minute tick comes along, as you will get ambushed there. 3 T-64s now on the front line. We have 2 Bradleys, one of them moving north right now, and the M1A1HA. The mortar actually currently firing HE to stun down the M1A1HA, is doing a pretty good job at that. So that is a way of making it combat inefficient as well, and then you maybe can push the T-64s close and can get the kill there. And yeah, Conqueror's in a good spot here. We see the BMP-1K getting the capture here. Fire Team 84 on the front line. And there is a lot of blue forces now in the north. Meddi's Rajvetka are there for an ambush later, but there is currently nothing really to protect what is there currently at Fedor and Gregory. Schmeltron will try to figure it out. BMP-2s are on the way towards the center, where there is pretty little for the player in blue as well. So that could be helpful here, whilst Meddi is getting more T-64s. The T-64 is ready up in the south. Commandantura will try to help making them more combat efficient as well. But the M1A1HA is still trying to get repairs. The Kiowa Warrior here pushing closer. No Igla directly with the T-64s right now. That's a bit of an issue, as that could one-shot kill these. And the BMP-1 leader goes down on the way in the middle. That is unfortunate. Eagle versus Su-27. Su-25 coming up behind. Su-27 getting the better of it so far. Gets another missile out. Important kill there. Eagle down. Igla in the middle did die beforehand, but the Su-25 should be able to get the kill of the Kiowa now. That is really big as well. Doesn't have line of sight on any armored units right now, but good kills here for Meddi. Really, really important. Maybe can use the Su-25 for some action with the Schmel in the north. This could be a big swing here. We see M150, we see the Bradleys here now with the Schmel, and Meddi coming in for some action, coming in for some kills.
Yeah, Meddi rerouting those BMP-2s. The BMP-2s were actually going to pressure center, which kind of speaks of Meddi wanting to do this center and Boris common grand fight. But after this attack here has been revealed,
killed the CV in the north, really important. Will stop the push there. T-64 in the south, unfortunately, gets killed off by the infantry in the forest. M150 is getting some recon there. Only a Commandantura currently around. Su-25 now coming back south. Stingers will push it back there. But we have more Su-25s coming in with the Schmel. Rocket variant this time around, trying to get some shots on target against the M150. Only fires the rockets though, doesn't get the kill just yet. And the Fireteam 84 runs out of ammo here, but gets the kill into the Commandantura with the 50 cal T-64 disengaging right now. SU-25 still trying to do some damage here. That's the Fireteam 84 dealing with the Ural. Meddi likely has to give up the south, but with the air advantage, could get some value here north.
Yeah, the ability to actually have a long-term air advantage, it's first of all, it demands you gotta kill these eagles out. These are not the standard eagles. These are the ones with the AMRAAMs, which are the best or the highest accuracy long-range missiles, and maybe a slightly overpriced, especially considering the MiG-29s are 60 points cheaper and can still get the kill with good enough control. Another eagle coming in here, and Eagles or other airplanes can't use their long-range weaponry to strike at the UAVs, so they have to use guns or heat seekers, which gives them a little bit survivability here. And now Su-25 going in.
The Priusa there trying to keep it alive. F-15 coming around one more time here. Not finishing the job though. Is only down to 1 AM 9Ms, which I tried to use on the Schmel. Does miss there. The Priusa and Coop could potentially be deadly, but the F-15 stays a bit too far away. Schmel now should just try to bait it over there. That could be pretty helpful. BMP-1 and T-64 dealing with the scouts. Rachevetka in the rear, a bit too slow to stop the next CV. Good idea there from Meddi, but not quite getting it there. And yeah, Schmel flying north will see a bit more there, whilst the Stinger tries to get the kill there, does fail to do so. Coop and Piusa moving forward, not quite doing the job there. M1A1 Abrams here falling back, whilst artillery lands around the Ito. The 120mm mortar here still trying to do its best. CEV hits the Motostrelki BMP infantry in the north, and the blue side here, fascists will get the point up north and will get the take back online. So Meddi will need to find a way to wrestle control back in the north, but I think with the Rachevetka in the rear, there is a good chance that this is possible.
Yeah, currently, just looking at the board here, this is a great situation for Third US. Third US has been on the board long enough to get its scouts and its snipers out there. It has a long Bradley lines. Bradleys can fight off anything on defense, and they're vulnerable to heavy artillery, of course, but that's not something that is on board right now. And they, even though the infantry of Third US is being bought at Veterancy 1 and not taken in on to gain numbers, not so much. That much infantry has not been destroyed for either side here, really. And 25th can rely on endless waves of BMP-2 Motostrelki in the end, and they can also rely on pretty decent support equipment with the Biriusas. I believe they get OSAs as well, and of course we've already seen a bunch of aircraft out there. I believe there are some helicopters as well, if 25th players want to have them, but Meddi so far has not been playing with them, and Meddi here has a chance. The chance is in finding an angle, finding the push, and then pushing that push. Oh yeah, they actually get cubes as well, not OSAs. And I believe that's gonna be the highway. The highway is the crossroads area between Fedor, Gregory, Dimitri, and Center, and that's where Meddi's attack is currently moving in, and that's where a bunch of units are being moved to reinforce. And if that means that the Italian forces all around the south part of the map cannot actually efficiently engage anything, that could buy Meddi the tempo to get back and win the game. But if Meddi lacks the tempo, if Meddi can't get a handle on this game, the continuous reinforcements of superior units will eventually make this front line impregnable. But right now, currently, seems to be pretty damn pregnable, with the Schmels still being up the air and only a Stinger standing in between Dimitri and Meddi.
Eagle coming around. We getting a hit from the Coop. Can the Fuchsia find the kill there? Get some shots out. Is this enough?
Oh!
Yes, it is enough. Eagle goes down. Important kill. We have one more remaining Eagle. The last Eagle here in the rear. So SU-25s did fall back for now, but important kill there for Meddi. One last remaining Eagle can maybe be overwhelmed by the MiG-29s and remaining SU-27s. We have an Apache ATGM in the middle, so some fighters for that could be helpful as well. Whilst the Rezvetka in the rear is deployed to spot, but not to engage with the RPG-22. Maybe a bit of a mistake. We will see. The BMP-2 gets a kill against the M150 as well. MiG-29 here now, trying to bait out the F-15, I believe. Whilst we have more BMP-2s and T-64s pushing forward. Bradleys in the center, under attack. As more M1 A1s coming onto the battlefield, but so far only the HA and one M1A1. So that is something that you absolutely can handle if you get the rest of your forces around. Igla unloading in front of the Apache. Will be able to get hit. MiG-29 diving. Should get the kill. Important kill there. Stingers will retaliate. Will get one hit. And the F-15 is hunting. Will get the kill there. Unfortunate there. Coop can get a retaliation hit, but unfortunately the F-15 falls back the wrong way. Igla! Oh, does miss. Gets a shot out, but yeah, that would have been a bit too much. SU-25 there, coming along. And yeah, not quite finding the hits on anything just yet. M1A1 there, under attack now, but the SU-25 can't quite do that turn. Slightly too steep. That's Rezvetka's trying to find an angle on the side, but the blue forces have that covered in the south. BMP-2 pushing through the north now. One with the Strelkies coming with it. Mazda here pushing forward as well. T-64s coming up in the middle. 3 of them plus the leader now on the battlefield. SU-25 AT will shoot up the fire team. Doesn't find a missile hit against anything just yet though. Stinger does miss against it. Could find a Bradley there. Every Bradley is 1 TOW 2 less that can kill off your guys, so killing off Bradleys would be pretty big as well. 25 for now, shooting up scouts, and now it can't find the hit there. Stinger, important kill against the Schmel, but another M1A1HA comes onto the battlefield, so I think Meddi will have to do some damage now, actually get the push through here. Otherwise it will get a bit dicey. BMP-2 versus Bradley in the north. BMP-2 not getting the Conquerors on target just yet. Fires it now. The Bradley does smoke in the wrong direction, so that should be a kill. Yes, there we go. But the Fireteam 84 does retaliate. Motostrelki is out in the open, so they won't win that fight right now. As we have artillery hitting the Stinger. Mazda, come on, get the kill there. Every Stinger down would be nice. Does not get the kill there. Really unfortunate. Motostrelki's pushing towards the engineers. BMP-2s and T-64As. Moving around here as well. But we have another T-64 PVK moving in as well.
Yeah, the momentum, the moment, the opening I was talking about earlier in pushing Dmitry, it really seems to be closing right now with an HA Abrams and a standard M1 with 2 Bradleys holding the front line here. But Meddi has brought the fighting to the north, which for now means that there are no heavy equipment out there, so the rocket helicopter can probably just get the 3 kills and capture the zone for the moment. But a single Fireteam 84 managed to go into the middle and destroy the BMP-1 leader. There were Motostrelki and BMP-2 reinforcements there, but that engagement just went... they rolled badly, and the 84s got immediate damage done. Now Meddi is kind of been left into just... biting away at the enemy front line with the Mazda. But there are still tanks, 1, 2, 3 tanks waiting, 4 tanks waiting for the front line, including a leader tank. So if the Mazda can just remove the ITO, maybe just drive off the enemy tank for a moment, it's not impossible for Meddi to get into the middle. And as long as there's an Su-25, the HA Abrams is also not an unsurmountable issue.
Yeah, S-25 rocket also helping out, clearing out the north. Will get that zone back under control. S-25 coming in for the M1A1. T-64 OBR does miss. Side shot potential there for the S-25, but not quite enough damage if the T-64 would have found a hit there. Maybe that would have been enough. S25's here, AT coming along. Smell not close enough right now, though. That is a bit unfortunate. The CV goes down in the north, but Shvedka still there for the recon, not for the hits with the AT weapon. And yeah, Bradley's getting hunted. That is an important unit hunt down as well. 2 more Schmelts around. SU-25's here around in good number as well to try to get some kills against the M1A1s here. The BMP2s and T-64s moving forward. If they can take out the M1A1s, then the C-64s have a lot of room to maneuver. And that would be really nice here for Meddi.
Yeah, the T-64 Rasvedka and the OBR-83 engaging at once could have maybe gotten the kill here, but Meddi did not move the recon tank. Now the recon tank is moving southwest, and it's probably going to be able to spot the Bradley there, actually. And this kind of speaks to me that the attack is going to happen on center. Meddi's reinforcements, including the Cube and the leader tank, are all set up to hold the middle. And Meddi is now bringing 3 heavy mortars. This is the rest of the card of the heavy mortars. Su-25 diving the PVATs, not getting the hit there, but managing to stun it so it can escape home safely. So many reinforcements coming in, so many Bradleys, Stingers, and PVATs right now. Meddi needs to start attacking soon. The problem is going to grow, and the smoke front line, which is one of Meddi's favorite and kind of signature tricks, the smoke front line that can make it block out 2/3 of the enemy Bradleys and allow the tanks and the artillery to engage the 1/3 on their own terms. That is something that could maybe happen here. The middle Ito and AJ Abrams have not been stopped yet, but there's a pretty thin angle. 2 barrages of smoke could very reliably block that thing out of those things.
Yeah, artillery getting some hits in the middle. M151 Mod CP going down. M2A2 Bradley gets gunned down as well. As T-64 BVK has to smoke off on the other side, trying to get close to the middle. There is no CV right now in there, so if you smoke off the middle, you should be able to get in there. Ito moving forward. M1A1HA moving forward as well as the smoke is about to land. Before engaging, starting to capture the middle. Would be a take here for Meddi, but Meddi is behind quite a bit in points. So the +1 take that is about to come up here, that is not going to save him just yet. T-64s have to smoke off, and the M1A1HA unfortunately still has line of sight here. The T-64 BVK already used smoke, so it is in a bit of trouble here. BMP2 and T-64 BRs pushing close, getting a good stun, getting the side shot, getting the kill. Oh, this is big. The M1A1 down. Ito still around. That is getting a side shot against the T-64. Unfortunate there. Oh, T-64 having to disengage. Gets the capture here. The Ito still has one more round there and gets the kill, but that's an important kill there on the M1A1HA. We have another one coming in from the rear. We have an Apache coming up as well. There is Coop. There is an Eagle in the middle. But that's not going to be easy to get the kills with those. Whilst the smoke mortars keep on firing. Mazda maybe should have keep on firing into the middle as well. Maybe just keep it on auto fire at this point to get some kills here. And yeah, really important kill there on the M1A1HA here. Meddi keeps in the game with that. Really good flank there. As the Conquerors here. Yep. Bill tried to get some more side shots here. But the missile only hitting frontal armor. Whilst Mazda here trying to come around for the Fireteam Dragon. Not able to get that.
Yeah, Meddi's reinforcements here, the 2 T-64s getting bought immediately after that kill, following up with 2 Mi-24Vs, 80 helicopters, and then with another Su-25AT. This is the damage-dealing forces are out there. And no AJ Abrams! Oh, getting almost disabled completely with the final F-15 diving in and destroying the Su-25 with Coop driving off the F-15.
Su-27 should have maybe come in a bit earlier. Meddi trying to get the hit here. Can he find it? Unfortunately, Su-27 not able to get the F-15 out of the sky. T-64 OBR going down. Bradley does get killed off here in the middle. And Yeah, Meddi bringing in more T64 BV, T64 B1s here coming up. I think it's time for Meddi to activate the Retratka in the rear. Like getting some important kills there on reinforcements, like for example that fire team leader that is just passing by. I think at this stage would be more important than having the rear here.
Yeah,
And
I think the Rasvedka idea here is that it could spot retreating enemy tanks when for artillery and airplanes, but then when the attack never happened on Dmitry and instead moved into center, that Rasvedka should have been repositioned maybe. Now with two more Su-25s coming in and not diving immediately, looking at Meddi does not have vision on anything outside of that. Bradley is currently firing at those T-64s, so not the best position for the Su-25s.
yeah,
Menefrego has pretty decent vision.
Mi-24V and Su-25s here moving towards the center, trying to get some hits, getting pushed back. Masta not able to get a hit there. Pivot going down. T64 B1V smoking off. Su-25 rocket falling back. Gets pushed out. Mi-24V rockets setting up there. Gets a kill against the pivots. ATGMs flying around. As Meddi does micro pretty well. Oh, Su-25 not quite getting the Apache. And the Retratka now came around, but at the wrong time. Or no, actually the CV passed by it. Unfortunate for Meddi there. Loses the C64 BV tank in the middle as well. This is unfortunately not looking good. As seems like we have Meddi here on the back foot right now. T64 OBR going down as well. And it seems like our Italian fascist here on the left side is doing quite well right now.
Yeah, it was the I think third US attracts people because they can win games without ever really having to play aggro. It's very difficult early on certain maps, and if you can know what your enemy is playing, as you can of course in League. I believe third US was picked as a counter pick for Meddi's 25th. So in this case, third US does allow you to just kind of sit back, and as long as you get yourself in a safe enough position, you can just keep on scaling endlessly and endlessly, and your opponent is going to have to be like trickier and trickier every attack to actually get some results. I'd say that Meddi's early attack on the Boris did fail, but it didn't fail in a spectacular fashion, which allowed him to just keep on playing, keep on being back in the game. And I'd say that if the attacks had started around maybe 10 minutes earlier, possibilities would have been better for Meddi, but there really were not the units on the ground. The combined arms, the airplay took so many points. Wanting to secure the airplay, wanting to exploit the airplay, kept Meddi's ground forces from being built up in numbers. And yeah, this single Ito here in the middle, the one with the name Pershing, that thing has been the target of so many salvos and is still alive.
Yeah, T64B1V, T64BVK, all moving in here. M35 getting a kill, and the push is coming in. The mortars try to help out. They do decent stun damage here, but there is unfortunately no recon here right now for the T64s to follow this up, to actually get some kills. Yes, keeping recon alive on Meddi's side here is pretty tough. There is a big flank in the north that will try to come along, but there are a couple of CVs and one M1A, one HA already there who hold out against it. The Master will try to kill off the fire team leader in the middle, trying to get a take back online, but there is an HA now coming in for the flank from the south here as well. And the Bradleys here retrading for the fascists on the left side here. As we have more scouts coming up. M1A1 Abrams moving around as well. Fire team leader under fire by the Master. Master not quite able to get the kill just yet. About to do it, but at the same time BMP2 gets killed off before the smoke can block line of sight. Fire team leader in the middle goes down. This is maybe a chance here. There is currently no CV directly on the front line. 2 M1 CPs coming around. If Meddi at the same time can find a way into Dimitri and smoke play is coming along for it, that might be an option. There is a Stinger in the pivot up there. There is an MI-24, but if the Stinger and the pivot could get killed off from the northern flank, then the MI-24 maybe could help out more. Mustard, unfortunately, down to 1 ammo, but Ural coming around for it. Pushing a bit closer to the front line. Motostrelki and BMP2s will come around. SU-27 in the sky here, trying to patrol against any more possible Apaches. But Scout gets stopped from getting back into the middle. +1 here. Only 40 points per minute. That is not enough on a +1. So Meddi needs a +3 here, basically, to turn this around. Loses the T-64 B1B here in the middle. We have the F-15 coming around. Igla will get the first shot. Hoop will join in a second. Okay, both sides destroy each other. This is fine. That was the last F-15. Was the last SU-27, I believe, as well. But if there are SU-25s left, they might have an easier time now.
Yeah, and interestingly, we're seeing a twin Abrams leader by kind of signaling that the Abramses of the deck might actually have run out. Of course, well, they haven't run out. They're all on the board, and there are more than enough on the board to fight off against Meddi. But all of those Abramses are not in the same spot, and all of those Abramses cannot necessarily be in the right positions or get into the right positions to affect the game. So Meddi still does have a chance here, especially regarding this Dimitri attack. Engineers sitting in the smoke, very unfortunate, will beat the Motostrelki in 1v1 combat. And now the Bradley is opening fire against the BMPs. BMPs not unloading, not hitting either. The Bradley didn't.
As
Unfortunate.
Team Lore goes down. We have an SU-25 AT coming along, getting a kill on 1, but can't turn around quite quickly enough right now. Gets another good Conquer side shot against an M1A1 there in the middle. The T-64 BVK might stick alive for now. Ooh, SU-25 does miss. Unfortunate times there. 2 misses there. Oh, Meddi, really, really unfortunate. Doesn't have line of sight right now. Will kill the pivot. Will try to kill the second pivot as well. Only gets the stuns so far. Master coming along on the spot as well. Should be able to get the pivot. Oh, really unfortunate right now for Meddi. Fortunate times there for the player in blue. As the push in the north, Meddi has made it into the zone, but at the same time, a fireteam leader sneaking around the north. Gets back in there, gets the capture. Only 8 minutes remaining. SU-25 here. Still alive. T-64 BVK. Leader in the middle. Still in there. But BMP2s will kill the Stinger. Might enable the Mi-24V rocket. S-25 there. Moving around as well. Gets some side shots against the M1A1, but not quite getting the kill. And unfortunately gets the BMP2 Rajvetka. Another BMP2 here engaging. Motostrelki's moving forward. Masta not going to hit the right target there at the moment. But Iglas moving around. Masta fails to hit. And yeah, Meddi needs to get this TV in there, needs to get the zone. But the forces on the left here just flooding in. 3rd US holding the ground right now. As the T-64 BVK will have to smoke off here. Stay alive. Good move there. BM1KR trying to find an HGM hit from the side, but it's only against transports. That is not all that important. SU-27 here. Still around, so there was one more. Meddi actually winning the air war here, but the pivots are pretty decent against the SU-25s. The SU-25s have to stick around for a good while. And Motostrelki is getting killed off in the open. This is a bad moment here for them to go down. Bradley luckily doesn't get a side shot here, but we have still one T-64 Rajvetka and a BMP2 there in the middle that maybe could play a bit more aggressive right now. Try to get some damage done. Master finds some more damage on the middle, and yeah, can we get some hit here?
Abrams getting routed. AJ Abrams getting routed.
Ooh. Can Meddi
No.
get the follow-up? 64 BVK not getting the hit there. Is moving up now. Would have clean line of sight. Ooh, that would be so important. Come on, Meddi. Yes! Ooh. Big shot. Gets the CV in the north, but loses the T-64 BK. The BMP1 leader had to move back. Only 5 minutes 40 remaining. Meddi is running a bit out of time here. EMP1. Oh no, the Bradley. The Bradley having a rear shot. Oh, T64 BVK did move around, but now on the artillery fire as well is stunned down. Ark! The Bradley gets the kill there. Another T64 BVK leader coming in for Boris. There is unfortunately still another M1A1 leader here in the middle. And there is unfortunately no leader for Dimitri right now for Meddi. The fireteam leader gets in there as well, and the fascist on the left likely is going to win this game.
Yeah, but you know, counterpicking a third US against any division, you better like have some kind of an understanding of how to win those games. Third US not really playable on ladder because you can just run circles around with it, so many strats. But I think the prediction that Meddi was going to do some kind of a tank all in, and like that was pretty obvious. We've seen Meddi play 25th before. Menefrego has maybe also done that, and I think Meddi's risky play on Boris was kind of miscontrolled. I think there would have been the smoke launchers, the smoke mortars would have done their job a little bit differently if the T64s had maybe hit themselves a little bit more carefully against our incoming ATGMs and not lost their numbers early on. I think there could have been a pressure that would have succeeded before the highway counterattack happened, something like 15 minutes in. But that is unfortunate from Meddi. Meddi still has a second game left to redeem the honor of WARNO League before Protoss after these matches is going to go and kick this guy out of the league probably. Or not promising anything. We will review the rules, as they say.
Yeah, we will have to check in on how to handle this situation. As yeah, that name is absolute bullshit.
Meddi is saying that the Razvedka there was for an ambush, so that was a misplay. Unfortunate.
Yeah, AC-25 here getting pushed back, and yeah, our Italian fascists here on the left side will win this one.
Yes.
25
But I mean,
rocket.
come on. You just have to. Do you not, Protoss? Do you not also feel a little bit of a tingle in your heart when you imagine just all the great things that Italian fascism achieved?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the worst part of Italian history. There's so many cool parts of history on the Italian peninsula, and you pick the shittiest out of it. Or not, maybe not the shittiest, but one of the shittiest for sure. Uh, Losing war after war and fight
Yeah,
after fight.
how do you create fascism but for theater kids? I don't understand. This is like it's a synthesis that was previously thought impossible.
Yeah, and for everybody who's just came in, yeah, Menefrego is the motto of the Italian fascists. We just realized that before starting the cast, and yeah, we decided if we wanted to cast the games anyways. But yeah, we're gonna be really one-sided in these cards because fuck that. 1161 has a fascist meaning as well, meaning anti-fascism. So yeah, there is no accident here. This is not this guy might not know what his name mean. No, this is a fascist being fascist, and yeah, you.
It is antisociality that like gets them excited that they can like sneak this past us, because Protoss has like very specific wordings about not doing any of this shit in the rules. So this guy probably knows what's happening, and he's getting excited over it, and we are going to make fun of him for that. Like masturbate to something else, please. Don't involve us into it.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on to game number 2 here. And yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. Yeah. See you all in a minute. So here we go, everybody. We're gonna return to Division 1 because we ran out of jokes to make about Italian fascists. And yeah, we gonna instead go to Division 1 action with a matchup that is absolutely hilarious. And let's continue with the fun and yeah, not ponder on about people who are stupid. And instead focus on 190 versus Division de Rhine. So maybe this is a bit wild as well. Let's see if it is
Yeah.
stupid. But it is for sure fun. Mix90 promised me to play a lot of fun stuff this season and is starting here with Division de Rhine. And all of that, guys, is now for a prize pool of $500. Big shout out there to Master E coming around with $40, getting me now to wear a Cold War uniform. So I will have to figure out what to wear there. Yeah, wishes were something French or Czech. Should both be somewhat doable, so we will figure that out. And yeah, let's have a look here on these two divisions because this is pretty hilarious here. 119th being the heaviest, and you could argue for Durine being the lightest division in the game on airport.
Yeah, some incredibly cheap recon units here. I mean, the reserve Eclaireurs coming on with a 25-point recon cars as well. That's a double recon unit for 45 points. It's really good for really good numbers per card as well. You also get an AT weapon with 6 shots no less. Even though it's not the best with its range, you don't really get that much good stuff. On the other hand, your Milan cars tend to have Milan ones. You lack a lot of the you lack like a special unit with Division de Rhine. You lack a unit that you can kind of focus all the rest of your stuff around. You don't have the key, the prototype, the heavy tank, the special forces, but you still have a lot of stuff you can throw out. So a lot of stuff will be able to take ground. It'll be able to take positions and angles, and it could maybe just beat the BRDM2s, the Spetsnaz crews that are going to try to impose some kind of a front line where the T-80s and Tunguskas can then start building up an actual fighting force. Now, as you said, Mix90 has promised to play a lot of wacky stuff. And for any here we are seeing the typical Mix90 2-fighter opener with the Mirage 3Es, quite cheap planes upvetted. But yeah, if you want to be like an open racist and play in the WARNO League, you want to be like Mix90. You want to play the refs. You want to tell Protoss that don't worry, this is going to be entertaining, and then you get a little bit of rope,
You also have to show some remorse, and you maybe shouldn't do it openly while joining the league. Yeah, Mirage 3 is coming around. We obviously, had a Mix90 incident in the past, but talked about it, we figured it out, and yeah, Mirage 3 is here, flying around. BO105's coming around. Boys will be boys, I guess, in the internet. Yeah, the MP2's here, coming around. Eclaireurs moving around in the south. Milan 1s and Milan 2s joining in there. Jaeger Aufklärers and ML90s pushing deep in there. And yeah, the Rhine has to take some grounds here early and has to get the damage in there. Find the way. Tunguskas not able to kill the Mirage there. Seed plane around, but the Tunguskas turned off the radar guided guns, so seed plane can't do anything about it. This is the weirdest seed plane in the game. It only has 1 seed missile, which is pretty terrible, and it only has 20% ECM, so no extra ECM pods or anything on this seed plane, so it is pretty easy to kill, and it's dirt cheap for it. 450 points for a seed plane is really, really cheap, but currently nothing here to find. T80UD already coming around, and the ML90s for sure won't do that job, so you kind of need planes to kill it. MX13s here coming around. Those are the dirt cheap tanks with the ATGM on top. 55 points for a tank with an ATGM, but you also only have 3 frontal armor, and your main gun is penetrating rounds with 10 penetration. So yeah, good luck doing damage to a T80UD with those guns.
Yeah, the T80UD already in a very strong position, surrounded by a bunch of recon and an infantry here. The T80, basically the goal is that every engagement the T80 should participate in, but it should never actually move beyond the recon screen. And here we're seeing it actually getting a side shot by a Milan 1 here. Does smoke itself off, but has used up his smoke and currently no supply on board or even coming. So T80UD, for the moment, if it gets died by an AT plane, for instance, does not have its supply. The Mirage 3 and the seed opener, I am kind of questioning this. I like it from just a rule of cool standpoint, but it is so easy to just turn off those Tunguska radar AA guns and just make that seed plane irrelevant. I think the seed plane, considering it is so cheap, should be bought reactively, which is something that you can't really do with most seed planes.
MiG-29 now coming around. I think maybe a bit too deep here with the Mirages coming around, but trying to kill off the seed. Does kill off the seed. Guskas now could turn on the guns to try to get the Mirages on the way out. There is no second fighter here, but the Mirage 3s also have a bit of a missile issue. They only have 3. They start to get into gun range, but the MiG-29 does escape there after getting the kill against the seed. Good micro there by bottom feeder, and a bit of luck against the missiles. But yeah, the Mirage 3E, far from what they were back in the day when Mix90 made them super popular with the double fighter opener, because they are nowadays only 8 frontal armor. There is missile range stacking and so on now, so AA is better against them too. And yeah, the 8 hit points especially, meaning that they get one-shotted by the heavier AA, is really a big nerf to them. Jaeger of Flavors getting gunned down, and bottom feeder starts to get some spot on the map. Super defensive in the around Papa. That is the right way to deal with it. And now slowly grinding the way towards Foxtrot. But Mix90 just tries to put as much stuff as possible into the way.
Yeah, so far, like, the unit compositions for Mix90 here are not suitable for this. They cannot fight against the T80UD. The T80UD right now needs to make a mistake for it to be actually under threat. Mix moving the stuff around and getting the Pavan even to try to build a ATGM concave, I think. Now, not a lot of movement on any other parts of the map, but the Jaeger-Aufklärers around the town, as well as some reinforcements, are slowly gaining some ground. There are decent enough defenses for bottom feeder, which means that Mix90 doing anything except just threatening Papa is probably a waste of resources right now. So yeah, bottom feeder has kind of locked Mix into this engagement. And right now, it is going to be the question of the T80UD. Does it get side shot? Does it get stunned down? A TO-55 flame tank getting taken out by an first-generation French SS-11 ATGM. And I believe those things, 19 penetration, French bias. Let me tell you. French bias. Where's the 19 pen? Hilarious.
Well, it's a really big missile. It's a pretty slow and a pretty inaccurate missile, but it is at least pretty sizable. ADUD here coming around, trying to deal with the 30mm. That's a pretty decent 30mm AA piece as well, with the 2650 meter range. TADUD though will start to gun it down here, gets it stunned, and the TO-55s now following up the TADUDs. Milan hitting the TO-55, not able to kill it. We have another AMX-13 getting a kill there against the BMP-1. The ADUD pushing forward. Yes.
This is double salvo.
Ooh, 155mm howitzers starting to hit. The ADUD is disengaging. TO-55 did go down. Rapira and Mi-8 here from the rear doing a pretty decent job with the fire support. More artillery is needed.
Yeah, the currently just even like unloading Fuchs Milans and Milan 2s on the ground here. Mix just trying to get the absolute number supremacy, knowing that there's only that every time that anybody engages or tries to destroy any of these vehicles, or ATGM units especially, they are risking themselves to getting fired upon by all the other ones. It's not the most efficient strategy, but if Division Orion can actually sustain it, it's probably not the wrong choice. Now, Jaeger Carl Gustav's moving in here, getting destroyed by a Pulamachiki supported by some rocket helicopters, but meanwhile, reinforcements are going to be moving into the siege at Papa. We've seen Mix moving a bunch of units out there and is already engaging against Rapira. And with the Jaeger Aufklärer moving in and destroying the Spetsnaz and gaining a very good recon position, we could probably start seeing the more or less limited air assets of Division Orion also engaging and trying to get some crucial early kills in Papa. If Mix can even contest Papa, that would be a pretty serious win condition, because that would immediately force Bottom Feeder to start doing those risky attacks that they really just don't want to be doing right now.
Yeah, we see the movement there in the south, but the Rapira is in a really good spot. That is a key unit. We have more TO-55s here coming up, 4 of them moving in. Issue with them is they don't have smoke. The TADUs and UDs obviously are really expensive, so you want the TO-55s around, but with the amount of ATGMs here getting higher and higher, you absolutely need artillery here coming along more. The Mazdas are around, the 155mm artillery pieces from the other side now, getting the Rapira killed in the south. And yeah, the Mi-8 helicopter so far doing a pretty good job, but the 2 Mirages here will dive it. Tunguskas trying to get into engagement range, will get a missile off, will not get a hit. MiG-29 will get the job done though, and disengage. So an okay trade here for 119th, but currently still a +2 here for Mix90. And yeah, the spam is just on, just trying to throw enough stuff into the enemy's gear to just not let them push any further. And you have so much stuff to spam left and right.
Yeah, when people talk about spam, they generally refer to offensive spam of people just keeping up a forever attack by sending in waves and waves of troops. But defensive spam is a more skilled and more virtuous profession, I think. Like the defensive spam is purely about maximizing kind of geographic and strategic like situations, like taking advantage of all of this land, every potential angle and corner, and that's something you can do when your deck is mostly just the reservist defensive units.
Yeah, more artillery coming in here now for Mix90 as well. 2 self-propelled 155mm artillery pieces. These are super old, so they only have 3 rounds per minute. They don't have the greatest range. Coming in forward, ML90 goes down in the north. The T80Us still have tried to kill off more units here. Get another AMX-13, but they have to kill 6 of those to pay off. So each of the T80Us has a lot of stuff on their list to get through before they really can push on. They can do the job. The T80Us absolutely easily can get 10 or more kills throughout this game, but they have to keep on doing the damage and keep on pushing forward here. Well, the ATGMs just flying from every angle. Milan's here, flying in. TO-55s overextending a bit, falling back. MiG-29 getting a bit too deep as well, and there come the better fighters. The Mirage 2000's RDM, pretty decent when it comes to cost efficiency. The SU-27 and MiG-29 still outclass it, but it is at least somewhat competitive. Gets the MiG-29 kill there. But the TO-55s and T-80s here now start to get the breakthrough towards Foxtrot and start to get the pick on there.
Yeah, the siege on Papa has not really achieved anything yet. Not that many reinforcements coming in on Bottom Feeder's side, and not that many engagements happening on Mix90's side, but Mix has a lot of stuff out there. And now after the first salvos and so much artillery very close here to actually support this, I think this is going to be the archetypical Division Orion attack. It's going to happen 10 minutes in, and there's going to be a mix of reservists and M47 dozers and a bunch of Maxons around for some reason, with Milan 1 supporting, and most of the damage is going to be done by this 155 millimeters, this basically like World War II era artillery here.
Yeah, TO-55s and T-80Us rushing through. There is so little in front of Echo, but the push towards Papa is the big thing here. Meaning that bottom feeder kind of has to push through Echo towards Alpha now. And yeah, Mix is just trying to throw stuff in the way there. T-80 coming forward, but it comes in a bit too late here. Like the whole defense of bottom feeder was based on the Rapiras, and those easily were taken out by the artillery. And nothing else here really can stop the dozers. The M47s are the most affordable aggressive tank in the game. It has 10 frontal armor, so it can take a hit or two from most guns and most ATGMs. And with that, you can push it in, but it only costs 65 points. Has decent HE fire output as well, with a 90mm gun with decent rate of fire and a 50 cal, so you can keep it up pushing. And the 80s will absolutely wipe the floor with them, but they have to get in here first. And meanwhile, the infantry is creeping forward all over the place as well. And the T-80 BVK here slowly getting closer. TO-55, MI-24 coming around. Echo under attack. That will fall. Bottom feeder has way too much there to deal with for Mix90. But Mix90 should be able to hold towards Alpha right now. And this is pretty interesting. The Rhine is a new division from the Southwick DLC. And yeah, it brings the French reservists assisted by some German Jägers. And that means old MX-13 tanks with only the 75mm gun with autoloader and the ATGM mounted on it. And then a lot of other French reserve artillery, reserve infantry, plus some diesel fighters.
The dozer getting a tracks broken on the T-80, and immediately, yeah, all the artillery is targeting this. There is nothing to be done for the next 45 seconds. And despite it being reserve artillery, their aiming time is 32 seconds, so I think those hits are going to go through.
Yeah, the only thing that could maybe save it is a kill on the artillery by the tanks, as the T-80Us are getting pretty close for bottom feeder. Bottom feeder also now hunting down the planes, loses a MiG-99, but gets a double kill there on the planes. But his T-80Us still busy with the MX-13s, still busy with the Milans. They start to really pay off the T-80Us now, but getting decently low here as well, have to smoke off, and might even have to give ground here, as artillery starts landing around them as well. One T-80U does push on, and gets killed for it. Milan 2s are the only really powerful ATGMs against them, and two of them were around. I don't think bottom feeder quite realized that those weren't the normal Milans that he was fighting so far the whole game, and suffered for it. And a T-80U dying at this moment is really critical, especially as all the TO-55s around it did die as well. Musta coming in for the M155. The T-80 BVK actually surviving for now, but the Fuchs Milan has its number, hitting the TO-55 for now. Bottom feeder is holding out towards Papa, is starting to get some points on the board, but will have to disengage here for a bit, and will have to get more tanks online, and he can't get the cheap way anymore. His TO-55's numbers are depleted, so he now has to go the expensive way. Starts to get some counter battery fire here in with the Mazda. Likely going to get a kill there with the helicopter. And yeah, gets a kill there with the Cocon. Could be really helpful against all the other little ATGM vehicles here as well. No AA on the front line here right now. A couple more Milan units rolling forward. And this is a really, really cool game between two pretty interesting divisions.
Yeah, so the better infantry of Division Rhine, which in this case means standard infantry, Jäger, Aufklärers, and Chasseurs are the front line here on the siege to Papa. The ATGMs have managed to threaten the T-80 BVK, and it is currently on 2 hit points, which means 2 front hits.
Tunguska not turning on the H. Okay, could have just turned on the gun. Gets the seatplane anyways because it has too little ECM. But the Mi-24 goes down. That is pretty unfortunate. We have a support helicopter coming in. We have the BRM and the BMP-2 holding the line still. Artillery coming in for the T-80 BVK though, and it didn't move anymore. Oh, bottom feeder might be too late there. Artillery flying in. Ooh, just in time. Mirage coming around for the next Mi-24. No S-27 in the sky right now. Getting the kill there. The Urals need to get that T-80 BVK into fighting shape again. This is such a key unit here. Same goes for the T-80Us, obviously, in the north. as the Milans are around. MI24 losses really, really key here as well, as those helicopters can do so much here in this matchup, but the loss there is big. BMP2s, you get so few as 119th as well. So yeah, a lot of key units for 119th, whilst any unit on the other side is replaceable, but they are also easy to kill. And Bottom Feeder has done a decent job killing them, has done a decent job getting to the +2 right now. Mix90 will have to find a way to break Papa here, I think, if he wants to have a long-term chance. And so far, he hasn't quite broken it yet.
Yeah, Mix is bringing out like 30mm AA guns and just 4 Milan equipped like little cars. There really kind of needs to be more supply to keep all of these ATGMs firing right now, as well as repositioning of some of the further back ATGMs, which are kind of doing defensive depth right now. Though first leaders are finally in for Mix, and now Mix is finally contesting this, leading by 500 points, and basically no infantry on board here for bottom feeder, which means that as soon as these Spetsnaz crew get suppressed or pushed back. Currently, they are not in spotting anything really. The T-80
Ooh,
is not going to be able.
SC24 HE coming in with a great run there. That should be a good kill. Yeah, kills off all the infantry in that building. The Maxence can't do anything about it. The ADBVK here, really key, taking off the 30mm and Maxence from the long ranges here. And yep, SC24, right choice there at that moment. Will clear out the zone, will get the +2 back. The Superior in the middle, a bit isolated, but has two T80U friends coming along again now. And the Milan 1 launchers here, not going to do much here. So Mix90 is in trouble. But one T80U or two T80U kills here away from doing it again. So this is the big tension here. Bottom feeder is not allowed to lose those units, but he also has enough quality to make that happen. And SC27's actually now just hunting ground units with their main guns.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, you invested a lot of points there. You need any killing power right now that you can get, so might as well do that against those soft-bodied jeeps. Those 30mm guns can do a decent job with the AG rounds.
Reservist Milan once not getting the best results here, not managing to destroy the BRM1. Oh, but there's an AMX-13 with one of those massive missiles in the backline. One of them left here, but it could move in and maybe get the God shot, the God hit against the T8 BVK. That's still a little bit further back, considering it only does have one of those ATGMs left.
Yeah, BRM is close to a T80 BVK, so should spot that AMX-13 once it fires as well. Milan here firing towards the T80 UDs and T80Us. The Spetsnaz GRU maybe should have moved forward with those tanks to give them a better spotting. Carl Gustav here trying to get a side shot, but good movement there from bottom feeder. Doesn't let that happen. Safari Comrodi in the middle. Have to be careful. Yeah, immediately under fire by artillery, but bottom feeder knows that as well. Moves them away. Milan 2's now here, coming around on side. One gets killed out in transport. Important kill there. One of them is way less worrisome than two. Still gets a frontal hit here, still does some damage. TDUs here. Trying to find more control in the middle. Milan 2 gets another shutout. Bombers not around, only SU-27s here. Flying in the middle. Could strafe the Milan 2 potentially as well, but more recon is important. BRM 1Ks here coming up. TDU coming around for the south as well. And yeah, bottom feeder still needs to grind away here. Will lose the tick. 18 minutes going. Saperi Comrodi under fire by the Transport Panzer Fuchs. Ulmachiki not close enough to fire the AT weapon. The Transport Panzer Fuchs most likely, yeah, there gets the kill. Master trying to get the kill onto the reservist, but Mix keeps that around nicely. Stops the tick for now. And bottom feeder back to siege mode now.
Yeah, the Maxon has the 50 cal, quad 50 cal from World War II. It has a rate of fire of 1,263. And I think the reason why the effectiveness that this kind of anti-air, in the same way that a lot of gun AA has, is that I believe all of those hits are considered to be considered to have their own chance to cause a critical hit in the airplane. And most critical hits are just about the stunning or doing extra damage, but they are, as we saw with the pilot panicking there, out of just a little bit of a burst or a 50 cal, it does punch above its own weight in that way, but it's still not gonna be able to get any kills, of course.
ADU here, engaging, kills the Milan 1. Another Ural coming around. ADBVK coming up. Artillery should come up here for the Milans. The Milan 2s are somewhat limited in numbers at this point already. There could be a couple more around for sure, and we have all the small ATGMs, but the ADU can tank 9 of those in a row, or even 10 of them in a row and still be fighting. Whilst the Milan 2s dealing 3 damage a hit are a lot more worrisome. So bottom feeder has to be more careful about those. Because the Milan 1s here just, keep on stunning his TADUs down until they run out of ammo. But the other TADUs around them then can start killing off. SU-24, pretty key unit here as well. Oh, goes for the wrong building though! Won't hit the Milan 2 actually. SU-27 coming around for the Alpha Jets. Gets one killed, gets the other one pushed back. Really key, these Alpha Jets are the best way of killing TADUs. If you get them through. They have 4 big cluster bombs. So those would be deadly.
Oh.
HE Bomber getting the kill onto the command reservist in the south as well. EDBVK needs to come around, stop the take. Whilst Tunguska goes down in the center. 2 BRM 1Ks got left out in the open as well. Oh, that is a big blow to the recon capabilities of these TADUs in the middle. One more TO-55 coming up. EDBVK moving into the center. Another TADU coming up. Whilst Mix90 currently just throws in more bodies.
Yeah, the currently the win condition has still been achieved. The challenge, the siege on Papa, even not managing to secure it completely, has forced bottom feeder to commit so many resources of it that even when bottom feeder managed to move onto Echo pretty easily, there was no infantry, no massed infantry to hold that, no front line of support units, and no of support units and anti-air to actually keep it. So with simply sending in Carl Gustav Jaeger's standard good infantry, they managed to drive off the enemy out of the hangars. And now we're seeing those units driven off from those hangars moving southwest to try to support and kind of relieve Papa position from the siege. But this means that they have to impose their side armors to this long front line of AML-90s and Milan 1s, and that bombing run completely missing any of these targets is now putting at least one of those TADUs under pretty big risk.
Yeah, it's also missing all its gunshots right now, long range against the Milan 1 there. Pretty unfortunate. TADU and TADBVK in the south, dealing decent damage. One of the TADUs getting routed. TADBVK leader number 2 coming along there. We have a Mi-8 rocket moving in there slowly as well, but this is all pretty slow, and there are a good amount of kills here for bottom feeder, but you can't see the replacement rate. And this is what is crazy about Ryan. It doesn't have the quick opener of DivMob, but it has its cost efficient behind it. It doesn't have the crazy artillery, but it has decent artillery behind it. And Mix90 currently is playing it the way you need to play it and getting good value out of it. Milan 2 goes down. That will make the life of the TADU here, but they first need to be resupplied. Mi-8 moving forward here. Has to be careful though. Maxons are around. Can't just fly in there like that. Oh, Maxon getting some good hits on target. Can it get the stun, the Mi-8? It doesn't quite hit right now. Finally gets the stun. Doesn't get the kill just yet. Gets the route. Okay. That is important. The second Maxon not moving forward right now to get the kill.
Oh no, the AMX-13 on the side, it got a massive side shot on one of the leader tanks. One of them is already put down to 2 health. That was the last SS-11 missile left, but they actually made it count so hard. And firing smoke with artillery to cover the reservists in the front line. Incredible.
Yeah, Mi-8 has to fall back here. The Maxwell gets the kill. MI24 moving around there. Supply is a big issue here for bottom feeder. Me8 resupply only now coming in for the TADUs. And it's just a line of AMX-13s there. Pushing forward. Coming in. TADUs are all damaged. Don't have enough supply behind them right now. The Urals already all eaten up. More of them coming in onto the battlefield. Ultimachiki in as well. You might want to turn off ammunition and fuel, or at least ammunition, on these to not resupply all the ATGMs and tank rounds and just get as much repair out of them as possible. But on the other side, you need the ammunition actually for the smokes, I guess. So yeah, it's pretty expensive to resupply these TADUs constantly. It's pretty expensive on the other side to resupply all the ATGMs fired as well. So both sides are supply hungry, but Mix90 currently has it a bit better under control, and it's more other units that can fire whilst the other ones reload. But bottom feeders units need to basically constantly reloading, and that's not what's happening right now, and this is a big issue. The BRM gets focus fired here as well, and that leaves these TADUs once more blind. And I think Mix90 is on a decent way here with this game.
Yeah, bottom feeder just not getting the good engagements, and they getting driven off of Echo, and then that counterattack, the pincer attack completely failing. That's a huge signal here. It means that whatever Mix90 is doing, it is working. The static nature of the siege here means that the heavy artillery investments of Mix can pay off really well, even if they're not getting the kills. The fact that they are getting the kills, that they're doing the damage, and they are constantly forcing bottom feeder to use micro to dodge these, try to constantly keep alive their last Spetsnaz crew, which are holding the front line together here, really.
Double Eye Hawk under bombing by the SU-27. Can he get both with one bombing run? He gets both with one bombing run. Heat actually coming around afterwards, but not even being necessary. So, yeah, good job. But the Mi-24P goes down nonetheless to the Maxon. Bottom feeder getting so many important kills, but just not having enough cheap stuff around. The FlynRyan here really making it problematic for his division as he's trying to push forward.
More 19 pen shots coming in to 19 armor TADUs. Reinforcements from both ends. I mean, the Raspetka BMP2s here, I think these are kind of a desperation move, because when you buy these units and when you buy two of them, it's a big enough investment that in this situation, it means that there has to be an attack. And oh no, finally a side shot taking out one of those TADUs, another one down to 1 health. And meanwhile, the leaders have repaired themselves almost completely.
But the artillery comes in right as they are getting the final repairs in, putting them back down in cohesion importantly as well. But Redka BMP is only now coming around. I feel like those could have been more helpful a bit earlier. And yeah, the situation
They're
here.
so expensive. I think they are not bought intuitively because they are so expensive. People buy the Raspetka BMPs when they have a plan to use them. They're too expensive to just casually have around, and I think that's a mistake maybe from from bottom feeder.
Yeah, TADUDs and U's tried to come around in the middle, and I feel like the mistake of bottom feeder was to answer the push towards Pub so much instead of trying to do his own damage towards Alpha from Echo. But obviously that's easier said than done from our God's Eye perspective, and pushing that deep obviously is also really scary as well. But cutting the reinforcements towards Papa, but it's also getting towards an enemy +2 zone that isn't immediately in a wall of ATGMs, I think could have been the way here. Instead, reinforcements went all the way to Papa. Obviously, giving up Papa would have been pretty scary as well, but I think the open fields in the north are easier to defend for him than the fields behind Alpha would have been for Mix90. But at this stage, it's going to be insanely tough to get towards Alpha, and Alpha is the only point that really will generate enough points here at this stage. TDUs maybe still can do it. There are still a decent amount of TDBVs and TDUs here. The artillery coming around as well. Maybe a good Su-27 run, Su-24 bombing run could do a lot of damage here as well. M48s getting shut down left, right, and center. ML90s coming in, a lot more M48s pushing forward, but they are not really a defense. BRDM Conquerors could have been really helpful behind the T-80Us earlier as well, as those are now pushing forward. Modrat Redcliffe, the BMP2s in the south, moving around. The BVK engaging here, and the MX13 trying to hold the line. They actually have decently long range. The MP2 has the faster flying ATGM though. The MX13 here gets stunned down. Will likely get killed off here in a second. The ADUs, I think, should just keep on pushing closer right now, so that they actually get accuracy and maybe they're better their MGs onto the enemy as well, as the push towards central zone is continuing. BMP2s coming around. Currently, nearly only blue units dying, but the issue is you can't just afford more and more of these blue units each minute. And killing off 260 points off the Durine each minute is not that easy.
Yeah, it's currently with 6 minutes left here, there would have to be a breakthrough. And as playing against reserve divisions, there rarely is like a final showdown. Your loss happens as a whimper, not a bang. And this is the whimper that we're seeing here, is that even if every unit here has finally found its place, even if they're going to push through and eliminate every reservist M48
and the
pattern
artillery
coming up.
play is so good. The ADUs, they're getting once more completely taken out of the fight. One even getting killed. The 155mm artillery has done it again. Su-24 not finding a bombing run. 2 has to be repaired. The M48's on the fire. BMP1s and BRDM Conquerors here pushing forward. Another TDU. Oh no, Ural's going down. The TD's staying alive, but yeah, the damage here is done. More infantry, more reservists with just some trash AT weapons, but an AT weapon to stop CVs from pushing through. Coming along, and 5 minutes. You would need Alpha at this point, and Alpha is in no danger right now.
Yeah, it's like as I was saying, like even if there is nothing that can face down this blob, the blob is just not enough on its own. There is too much. Even if every single one of these T80s survives to the end of the game, and every single one of these AMX13s and M47s and 48s get taken out, the end result is going to be a Mix90 victory at this point. There's just not enough. The potential is not there. The relinquishing the ability to keep attacking and allowing Mix90 to just completely fill the map with like defensive forces. I think that was a Mix90 won this because of the Papa Siege. Like recognizing early on that, as you would predict against 119th, the urban area was pretty clean. There was nothing there basically. Even all the defenses on Papa were on Papa. They were not holding the high rise or any of the villages or anything like this. And with some pretty mild recon infantry pushing, Mix90 could just get those positions and keep abusing them to the end. And that is, I really think that is the reason why the Echo attack completely fizzled out, despite being so decisive. It's because a bottom feeder just relinquished. That bottom feeder was centered in playing responsibly, and playing responsibly against the reservist division gives the reservist division a lot of time in this case.
Yeah, the units keep on pushing forward. Su-24 strafing in here. The ADBVKs keep on killing a lot of M48s and M47s here, but there are still more coming. The BRDM Conquerors and BMP1s here trying to help out. A lot of these M48s just dying, but it's only 3 minutes remaining. There is no CV with this close to Alpha or Zulu, and we would need a lot more points than this. TDU gets short-range artillery here, as Yeah, the AT jams keep on flying, but this is just all coming in too late. Cheap reservist infantry got in here as well. EDBVK leader goes down, and this is the push to clean it all up. And it is all coming in too late. SU-24 run comes in, gets the bombing run through, will get the kill, and the M47s even will stand their ground here, most likely. ADU trying to come around the flank, but GGVP here. Ryan, he is competitive, and Mix90 is a big meme, but he is a good meme.
Yeah, and should probably be mentioned that Division to Rhine was picked first. 119th was picked as a counter pick, which makes this even more hilarious.
Yeah, and this is a really funny vision for sure. Like I think Rhine is fixed 156, 52nd. Like it has the cost efficiency that 152nd lacked. 152nd might be fixed 152nd by now as well, as they got a good amount of buffs. We will have to see if we might see them this season around. Wouldn't put it behind Mix90, bring them around. Next game, gonna have a fun matchup as well. So looking forward to that too. MP1's here, still moving on. Mix90 even gets the tech back online. That will take the game.
Yeah, I mean, love to see it. I think this is a great debut for, is it debut? Debut for Division to Rhine on the league.
Yeah, really good game here. Bottom feeder in the end, just slightly ahead. Killed at least 3 times the number of units, but in the KD, yeah, you can see that some of the TADU kill feeds here. And they did their job, but the rest of the division couldn't quite follow. That did lead to the victory here. The TDUs weren't the issue here. The rest around it was, and Mix90 really did play it well, position-wise. Yeah, next matchup is being Corpus Legendovi. The division has got buffed quite a bit, but still rated by a lot of people quite lowly, versus 3rd US Armored. So that all on Vertigo, which usually pretty decent 3rd US Armored map. So this is going to be interesting as well. And I'm pretty excited for the Polish Airborne. Got a lot of buffs,
Yeah,
as I said, so this is going to be interesting. But yeah, 3rd US Armored on Vertigo. I usually would favor that. So Corpus has some weird stuff, and let's see what Mix can bring with them. Quick break, guys, and we're gonna be back. And yeah, you shouldn't pick the Rhine in ranked, and you need a lot of APM and some good thoughts of how to make them work. They work against 119 on airport if you play them like Mix90. Is it an
yeah,
actually good division to play in ranked? I don't think so.
yeah. An airport is a map, like you would say Chandra maybe also as a map that rewards having the numbers because it's so wide, and as we could see, if you get some free ground, a reservist division can fill that ground and create a concave really quickly, whereas an expensive division can't do that.
Yeah, going to be interesting. Quick break, guys, and then we're gonna be back with the final game of the day. Game number 2. Where'd it go? Opus. So here we return, final game of the day, Mix90 with Corpus versus bottomfeeder as third US. Gonna be a pretty explosive game as you need to play with Corpus. So gonna be interesting to see if he can break bottomfeeder's third US here. But before we jump into that, quick shout out to the final day where you can sign up for the WARNO League Season 5 Fantasy League and get your team together. We will shut down the sign up here. So if you want to have your favorite players getting points for you, get there and grab your team together and do so via the spreadsheet linked in the chat right now. And also, once more, big thank you to all of you for the financial support on the Meddi page. If you're gonna want to see me on a 24-hour stream and you want to see WARNO League getting the biggest WARNO prize pool yet with $1,000, yeah, you can still contribute directly, like all of these absolute legends here did. Master E, 3-6, and not a Mallard coming in with $250, 24th US with a 50. So yeah, big thanks to all of you guys for all of the support. Big thanks to everybody who pressed the contribute, the 25-cent contribute button for free as well. Yeah, the community loves this shit, and I love doing this shit. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for especially this, what we have in front of here. Like, this is why I picked these games when I saw the divisions, because Mix promised me fun games, and it seems like Mix is going to deliver fun games. I'm not sure this is going to work. Opus is a division that is not really figured out, I believe, but maybe Mix actually has it figured out here.
Yeah, I mean, the taking Dimitri and Centra for free, I mean, that's pretty clear for going against third US, and frankly, a lot of units going out there. I mean, an AA gun, 3 ATGMs, 2 recon units, both with choppers, and a machine gun. I think having just a single ATGM and a machine gun could work, considering, of course, it's very unlikely for a third US opener to actually try to go into Dimitri. But, in case you want to be playing for sure, so you're going to let them there. And it's not like there aren't units also going into the more populated regions up north and in the middle. And the middle attack especially, I think, will be very crucial. If bottom feeder manages to get the middle citadel, then it's very difficult to keep them out of any other places, because they can just use that place to spot, to keep sending LRS and sniper, and they don't get LRS anymore, but snipers, scouts, and they can hide their Bradleys and their tanks behind the industrial halls. Instead, if the Polish can get into the middle, and especially if they can start threatening the area behind the eastern tree line, if they can start getting their Malyutkas, their Fagots shooting that way, that suddenly seriously limits the movement space of third US and their ability to actually muster the forces. Of course, keeping that front line or that salient can be really dangerous, but that's why you're playing the Polish, because you can afford to lose a few units,
Yeah, and we have the Sokol coming in here quickly with some 6-man recon squads. They only have a shitty AT weapon, but they have an AT weapon. Scouts have to reposition there, maybe. Sniper. Maybe unloaded a bit too early. I think it should have maybe unloaded in the buildings for the forward. We have an A1HA also from the get-go on the board. That's somewhat overkill. Has some Bradley fire support there. Stingers coming around. Bradleys are great IFVs against tanks because they have a TOW 2, which can one-shot a lot of IFVs that can one-shot even a good couple of tanks. But they're a bit overkill against the light division with Fagots, especially as Fagots can one-shot these 85-point units, because they only... Well, no, not the 85 one, but the lighter one. The M2A2 with 5 frontal armor can actually survive one. But 2 kills by the Fagot still get the kill there, so it is pretty expensive when it comes to dealing with light units. You have other IFVs that get you the autocannon that you want from them against light units a lot cheaper.
Yeah, so far the engagements here they're going pretty decently for Mix90, but I think that is simply because Third US is playing extremely conservatively. They're even running away with their scouts and deploying so far away from the front line. And this is Mix90 has an incredible amount of space. They can call in anything, and they are. I mean, just look at this. BRDM Malyutkas, ASU 85s just swarming all around the map. And F-15, expensive buy, but important in making sure that there are no early air spam or helicopter shenanigans. And slowly and surely, the scouts and infantry are going to move around and they're going to find some poles. And then the Bradleys and the Abramses are going to open fire on the poles. And then you're just going to keep on doing that and hope that the points gauge for Mix has not filled up to 2,000.
Ooh, Bradley there, smoking off. Gets out alive. I got number 2 trying to come around. We have an M901. I think that's a bit weird. That can only deal with vehicles. Polish have a decent amount of vehicles, but not the most cost efficient was there. ASU gets gunned down by the M1A1. Feel like a second M1A1 to shoot down Fagot teams quicker with the gun, reliably kill light vehicles with the gun, would be pretty helpful here at this stage. Whilst the Bradley is from pushing behind the tanks so that the tank gets first. Can be really nice as well. Malyutka here, next target. M1A1 would be in range, but it doesn't spot it actually, as the scout are not in the right spot, and the Malyutka P has good stealth. M1A1 now could maybe even push a bit further here, but doesn't want to risk it. The Polish not having the best infantry AT on most of the units, but the Popus has a double RPG-7 VL squad, which is pretty capable. Bradley here under fire, gets hit by the Fagot, left at 1 hit point. The Eagle stays in the air, and this is the point where you might need an M109 here to come around and start doing some damage that way. M901 having to fall back.
Another H.A. Abrams. Zero with H.A. Abrams getting bought here. Very, very interesting and questionable buy. The only way that this H.A. is going to be made combat ineffective is by routing. So why are you buying a zero vet tank when you're literally playing Third US? You can't get anything when it comes to tanks, except cheap and fast ones. But you get Bradleys for that. And now we are seeing the Malutkas and the Fagots trying to catch some hits against the Bradleys, not managing to do so. And I'm sensing a worrying lack of supplies already. The supply trucks have not been bought, which means that by the time they are needed, it's going to take so long for them to come out there. Now, ASU 85s, they have a strength. They have two strengths. One of them is that they have kinetic penetrators, which means that they can get close range bonus damage. And the second is that they have a really good rate of fire, in this case, upweighted to 12. So they might be able to suppress exactly these zero vet tanks and maybe route them, maybe have them turn their back or side armor. And by that time, oh, we'll see. Mix90 is already almost 800 points up.
Yeah, M1A1 HA pushing forward. Bradley here trying to play versus the Malyutkas. Fired by 2 though and gets killed off. And those was an A1 Bradley there. Those are easy to kill. No bombers here around or bottom feeder either. Those HE bombers, they are not strong, but they could be really helpful against these light units as they also are pretty quick to reload. And the HA Abrams gets taken out. Artillery coming in against the Chaparrals. Ooh, getting 2 kills already. Pivonias are big there, getting both Chaparrals killed. And 1A1 HA number 2 starting to push forward, but it's getting stuck, and all the Bradleys are dying now. Without the HA in front of them, they just can't do it. And the tank hunter squads in the forest here, that's what I was talking about. That's where you need the bombers, and not buying the bombers, not buying artillery, instead of buying M901s. I think that's the issue here. Like I like
109s. 109s are the thing you need, not 901s. Different unit, completely different.
Yeah. And yeah, the Hawks now coming around. think they could have come around maybe a bit earlier as well, though. They are not great in this matchup with all the yachts around, with the Sokol, with the AA Strelas that can two-shot kill them as well. So I don't think those would have been the best solution early on, but an M901, M109, or a couple of those bomber
Ooh.
F4Fs could have been quite nice. And now the Bradleys just get gunned down, and the Polish now can just get enough ATGMs around here to lock down the 3rd US. And that is a big, big issue, because the 3rd US needs to get into this point to stop the tick. Only 5 minutes 40 now remaining. And in the long term, they need to break this all. So this is not going to be easy. As M1A1 trying to push forward, gets hit, gets routed, and that's what you were talking about. Why is this on 0 vet? It makes absolutely 0 sense in this matchup to use 0 vet Abrams. It is seldom a good choice, but especially in a matchup like this where you know you're gonna be hit by a lot of shitty ATGMs that will do a little damage to you, but will do stress damage with each of those hits. This is such a waste of money right now. Every second your M1A1 is routing is a big one, and with the low veterancy, it takes forever to stop the route as well, because the recovery rate is so slow. But this is a big, big issue.
I was just, now that we're seeing a one with standard Abrams coming out there, I was theorizing that maybe after seeing the Krupa Desantovi counter pick from Mix, that bottom feeder went on and removed all the tanks outside of like the 0 vet cards so that they could have the most versatile possible infantry and support tabs. But now we're seeing that there are a bunch of normal tanks also in the deck, so that's not even happening. It really was just a bad decision. Just like putting the militia holding the middle line, if we're talking like Napoleonic terms, like taking the core function, the thing, the anchor around which the rest of your battle group rotates around. It cannot be routed. It is going to be auto-targeted by everything because it's the most expensive unit. And just like putting it down on 0, that means that it like halves the amount of shots required to stun it down, and makes it 3 times longer to actually recover its veterans.
Yeah, M1A1 recovering now slowly, Hammett coming up, but this
Cohesion.
is just such a bad mistake. And yeah, the HA Abrams also aiming slower, firing slower, having less HE output because of it. And yeah, you would need them on peak performance. This didn't happen. 2-1 KD here from Mix90. And yeah, it deserved 2-0 victory here with the light divisions. Mix90 starting to shift the meta. Yeah, winning here with a really fun one. So Division 1 going to be interesting this season.
Yeah, I mean, so far they are promising and they are delivering. Division to Rhine Corpus shown in, and this I want to point out, this was not cheese. This was a straight up, straightforward pick of Corpus as a counter pick to 3rd US. The bottom feeder had banned MNAD and 11E as well as First Canadian. First Canadian is being overpowered, of course, but both MNAD and 11E not considered to be mega powerful, but kind of signaling that the 3rd armored pick was trying to force a slow game. So Corpus kind of being on the table right now, that you can actually do that kind of stuff. Of course, if you had done that gameplay with MNAD would have been way better at it, because instead of all the 17 and 16 penetration missiles, you would have a bunch of 24 and 25 penetration missiles. But the Corpus compensates with a lot of other traits. And yeah, very happy to see that. Been waiting for Corpus to become popular since it was released.
Yeah, and yeah, it was maybe a bit of a meme pick here by Bottom Feeder as well, to pick double the heaviest divisions in the game in this. So, but yeah, it was still a really well played game here by Mix90, and Mix90 showed that light divisions can be scary, and that he also is a top level player. And my trust in him in my fantasy league team might be getting rewarded here this season. Really excited to see how far he can push this kind of playstyle. Can't ban all the light divisions from him. He will always have one open. But yeah, let's see how he can keep it going. And this was a really, really fun one. And yeah, going to be interesting to see how what we else will get this season. A lot of good games coming up. There are a lot of games already played. The cast will keep coming, guys. Yeah, we will have more later this week. So see you all for now. Gonna end it here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Yeah, do you have any final words? All right.
Not really. Outside of, I'm sorry if I've been more sounded more tired than usual. I had a long day, but outside of that, really happy about all of this. And yeah, when were we going to? Had we already planned for Thursday?
Not yet. I think Thursday might be a good day, but we'll let you guys know when we will cast the next one. Thursday or Friday, most likely. So see you all around. And yeah, we're gonna rate Mr. Snowwolfie for now. So have some fun over there. Snowwolfie already played his first game as well, so that's something that we're most likely gonna cast in the next one. And yeah, see you all around.